On today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, a revelation. And if you don't get that, I'm very sorry. Hi, this episode is going to be like 80, 90, 85% talking about Lostbelt 5 Part 2 Olympus, our first impressions. Do not worry if you are not caught up and you cannot yet get past certain bosses. We will not be going over everything. Also, if we tried to go over everything, we would die. Hello, I'm 4 pages of notes, Omega. With me, as always, the other 4 pages of notes, Lucky.
This is very true. Everyone, I hope you are all enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka a dial-up connection to pain and suffering. And while we here at Studio Make like to bring you the latest Neptune-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events with the JP and E version of the game, so anyone not want to spoil should scream at Demeter'S fat ass.
Just remember Gangnam Style, that one meme. Yeah, so to specify... since we are starting, you do not need to worry about the spoiler warning yet. We'll let you know when we go into that. I won't put an alarm sound in, but I could, but I won't.
Please don't.
Because sound effects are loud.
Yes, they
are. Our show notes currently go up to the first pip of Section 10. We will probably talk about that bit because the notes are very short, but that's as far as we've gotten in the notes. It's segmented so we can break it up, and we'll try and walk through the different sections. But that's as far as we are. If you are not that far... well, you can hang out for as long as you want, but you'll know when the problem starts. I'm quoting the Emperor's text-to-speech device chat, so I don't know about you guys. But speaking of chat, I would like to remind you this episode is brought to you by our lovely patrons like Adam Harbach, Akanis, Arctic 10, Bugs G, Carlos, Dragon Ferris, Jeremy Vasquez, Jonathan Sandoval, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Regent Raptor, Rogue Robin, Charvor, Sean Pryor, some guy named Bob, 723, and Very the Crow. If you like what we do want to see more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies, and it really helps us out. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
I'm going to come back to that one. But first, we have our regular business tidings to get out of the way, so now that we are several minutes in, it is time to go ahead and check in with everybody's favorite Kouhai, Mesh.
Senpai, 起きてください.
It's time for Wake the Fuck Up, Senpai, or Wake the Fuck Up for pro tips. I don't have a really specific pro tip today, I just want to talk to you about time management, y'all. Olympus is hard, bro.
I made her!
And that's literally like boss fight number 2. There's a lot more after that. So it's hard. If you're getting smashed and you're not exactly me and Lucky trying to do a show about this content, you guys can take your time. It's okay. I think the first thing that you actually need to complete Lostbelt 5.2 to actually do is Lostbelt 5.5 Heian Kyo in winter. So you have several months, several times. You have units of time units, to complete this without worry, okay? You can totally wait on your seals to refresh and everything to power through this easier. Whatever your preferred deal is. You can take some time to go into the QP mines and work on some stuff. So don't feel in a rush just because it's out, right? It's not a huge concern. And eventually there'll be like, half or quarter EP campaigns as well. But if you're getting stomped too hard, feel free to, take a $5 and take it slow.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Heian-Kyo is also when they start giving you Spirit Vein Stones, so you can get free upgrades. And yes, I know a lot of people having trouble because not only did FGO come out with new content, a lot of other gacha games are coming out with new story events. A lot of Vidya games are coming out also, like just a whole boatload of games are dumping. So like if you're struggling with your time and you feel like FGO isn't the best place for your time, take a $5, take a break,
Relax.
Eat Twix bar.
You're not you when you're hungry.
So. Let us begin then with the other business dealios, as chat just keeps yelling about gacha games.
Yeah?
More things to play. Okay. So, let's go ahead and move on to Records from the Throne, our regular achievement topic. So, I have been slaughtering my QP to level a lot of skills for obvious reasons, including I finally pushed Waver to 10-10-10. That was actually, along with my first wave of skillioning, to make my free quest farming easier, just because Lostbelt era free quests are stupid. God, they just got so much HP. But I have, I've been doing some leveling. I think I put Super Orion to like 666. Yeah, it's just lots of skill levels everywhere, but the Waver to 10-10-10 was something I've been like holding out on because it was really friggin' expensive QP-wise, and I didn't feel the necessary need to, but I'm like, okay, alright, I require more speed. So, yeah, I've been working on skills a whole bunch. That's it for me.
And that's it for him. So we'll move over to me. And I will say, in a fit of insanity, I bought two $80 packs. And in my first pack, I managed an Achilles. Yay. I literally had the moment of looking at this and like, this is the wrong Greek hero.
It happens.
Yeah. Along with my MP5 pin. So I'm just like, also, wrong Greek hero. And so, again, as I said, fit of insanity, I got another one. And I got basically jack shit until the very last 10 roll, and I got me a Dioscuri on the very last roll.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just all like, this is nice, but... Like, I forget, is Dioscuri... I can't remember what's Dioscuri's availability. Are they permanent?
Yeah, they're permanent.
Yeah.
But they are in arts units, and I know how much you love that.
I know, so I'm like, I'm not disappointed, but... Like I said, this is my not all the world.
Chat has sensed something. The audience is detecting a certain absence from your statement. You guys may have also noticed there was nothing about any rolling I did in that first bit. We'll come back to that. Yeah.
So we'll come back to that. But also, something that might surprise everyone. I actually got my Kentucky Rider to 10-10-10. Because, Jesus, 50% batteries are really a cornerstone on servant kits. They really are. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, we'll explain, I think, how that works out later, but batteries are becoming very, very important for certain boss fights. The game does not necessarily want you to stall in the traditional way, so being able to just vroom into NPs is becoming very critical. Okay, so it's time for Not All the World's Evil, but damn close. Hi, hello, I am Omega. I have spent 300 plus Saint Quartz. I had about 150 saved up, and then I bought an 80 pack. And then I did like 4 more free quests, and I got another 30 and also did that. So we're well over 300 in. I basically have just NP2 Astrea to show for it at the last minute. Literally the last roll. So also the wrong Grecian goddess. I think in my first run, the free Saint Quartz, I did get a Chiome, but my Chiome's already NP5, so that was a rare prism. Yeah, it's bad. I didn't even get any Dioscuri. I didn't even really get spooked. I got, just nothing. I got, 2 golds, I think, and 300-something Saint Quartz. It was bad. I got so many goddamn CEs, but I didn't get any new CEs. For the first time ever, in fact, I'm pretty sure this is the first time this has happened to me, I exceeded the CE inventory and was forced to burn before I could do anything else. Now, part of that was because I hadn't actually compressed down all the White Day CEs I got in the Great Odysseus blowout. But still, I was at 513 CEs. Yes, somebody has dug up my tweet that I posted at 4:30 in the morning. I have had what we like to call a bad time. So I'm not done, per se. The banner doesn't end until the 6th of April, so we got a payday in there, and there's still weekly and monthly tickets. But, yeah, the new CEs aren't on rate up, which is dumb. But when you roll that many goddamn CEs, it's like, you can't even throw me something I haven't gotten before? Nah.
I think I only got one of the new CEs.
Just pure pain.
Pure pain!
So, I guess, one, I'm pretty sure that locks me in that I'm going to be rolling on the Year 5 banner on, the GSSR this year. I believe that's this year, is the by years, so it's going to be the last year, because that's where I'm having a bad time. And also, I guess if it doesn't work, I guess I gotta roll on Interlude Campaign 16 banner, I think that's the next time Canis comes up. No, don't call your shot yet. Remember, it could also be NP3 Summer Musashi, which is not ideal. I mean, if it's NP2 Space Ishtar, that's okay. But NP3 Summer Musashi, I'm just gonna be like, okay. Mm-hmm. So that's me, y'all. Hey, by the way, if you... Actually, no. Lucky, go first. I'll turn this around later. You're related to this. Go for it. Say your piece.
Mine's really simple. I just wanted an Angry Lancer. That's it. That's all I wanted. I'm slightly bamboozled. Again, I feel like raid ups don't actually understand how raid ups work, because I didn't mention this in All the World Evil, but I did get several 4-stars in there. I got a Dion, I got a Hassan Lobo, and I got an Emiya in there as well. and I'm like, oh, it's just one of those moments of, I want to shake the summoning circle and be like, give me your lancers!
I think the rate up understands when it feels like it. Do recall I did go to went from NP0 to NP5 Kirki on a recent spending spree. So sometimes it works. I did not have that luck the second time I spent money though. It's very painful. Don't we all just want an Angry Lancer? Rate up is a lie. Been a while since I've seen that one.
It is.
So what I was gonna say was, hey, hi. If you're one of those people who have been fortunate enough to watch my wanteds and do my other things and go through all that other stuff, and you got your Dioscuri or your Canis, if you got them without too much hassle, consider dropping us a little jingle. I'm not saying you should put an 80 pack on us or the equivalent thereof, by the way. But if you were under budget, consider throwing us a dollar or two. You can support us with super thanks or super chat when we're live. You can get a channel membership. Our Patreon tiers are pretty low. You can support us for as little as $1 a month. It's at that level. Making that annual is literally I think $10.80. So if you're doing good, if you're riding high, we're not right now. So you can chip in for us. It won't repair anything, but it will begin the healing process of my wallet.
Maybe we should do some sort of FGO stream or something.
Maybe. That usually gets the people agitated. We will honestly, we're probably going to have to do what we did last time with a big story drop. We may have to stream next week's episode just so I don't die.
That's very true.
We're at 8 pages, and this is only the first third. It's bad. We'll see what happens with y'all. But,
I say we lock that in. Let's lock in a quote unquote fundraising stream for next Friday.
Sure. It'll be April Fool's Day. It'll be funny.
It will be funny.
That's our joke.
It's our joke.
But yes, no, I'm literally not looking at my bank account. I mean, I have a copium strat. I did have enough Google points to get basically 10% off the 80 pack, but so I'm like, I didn't work out, but I got 10% off though. That's my strategy for not slowly losing my mind. But all right, let's move on from the depths of our despair with no angry firebird horse lady. I'm not really sure why Canis has.
I don't understand why bird.
I believe that's a version of one of the Canis myths. Is it Ovidian? It might be from Ovid's Metamorphosis. I mean, Starlight, if you want to call Canis a donkey, you can say that. I'm just not going to stand next to you. I'm going to be at least 2 blocks away.
I'm not
minimum
safe
safe
distance. Same
distance.
city.
Yeah, I'm going to leave town if you want to say that. I'm gonna call up Captain Nemo and be like, "Hey, yo, get me out of here." But all right, let's move on to our last bit of our official show business before we break into the news. Did you finish your master missions? Probably. They're pretty simple. So, you need to acquire 15 embers via drops, acquire 30 embers via drops, defeat 15 undead enemies, defeat 15 male enemies, defeat 15 female enemies, perform 30 FP summons. This is very easy. You could have cleaned up most of this on the event if you missed it, but if you haven't, there are a few ways to do this. I am seeing in our notes that it's mostly Orleans. If you go to Orleans Marseille, you can do that twice to defeat 18 males and 18 undeads. If you go to Okeanos Bountiful Sea twice, that's 36 AP. It's kind of expensive, but you can get 16 females. I believe you can also get some of this out of the way if you're doing the story run. And for EXPs, just do dailies. If you have to get them out of the way, smash them really quick,
Smash.
If you end up with just undeads, you can always do Fuyuki for cheaps. Yeah, if you run all of Olympus, you can probably get all the bits in. I don't know about the undeads, but you can always take care of that on Fuyuki. But yeah, that's master missions. Let's see, how long did that take us? 50 minutes, okay. Our Tale of Woe was long.
A bit, yeah.
All right, Skelegrams.
Yeah.
We have a little bit of news, but it will be mostly short. So, first of all, technically, JP announced first, Battle in New York, Gilgamesh Summon banner, from the 23rd to the 30th. Because it's not a year in FGO without a Gilgamesh raid-up. Also Kazgil. Also, Summer Kazgil's costumes in the RP shop now. Just, I guess, reminding you this used to be a Gilgamesh thing. I assume this is a little bit of a time stall because Anime Japan is soon, TM.
A couple days, actually.
Yeah, this weekend. I think Is FGO's panel on Saturday or Sunday? I don't remember. We'll get some
it's
toothy news soon.
Yeah, they actually have their stream up already. It's in 27 hours.
Okay. All right. 27 hours from now. Also, let us recap the Kouhai broadcasting stream. Albert and Edamura-san were in studio live. Guests were pre-taped. But, it was a live stream with a pre-taped segment. We got 10 sync courts for the stream, and we also hit our social media goal, so that was 15 total. All in all, it was a pretty good stream. It's been a while since we've actually drawn a large crowd in Discord, but there must have been, a couple dozen people in there that I jammed out with. By the way, fun fact, if you have watched this week's Prague episode, or if you have not watched, if you wonder why we get weird halfway through, that's why. We talk about this in the episode, we literally had to take a break like 2 matches in, and go watch the FGO stream and come back. It was a time.
Passed out. I didn't wake up until 8 o'clock PST. Well, when it was over.
All right. Luckily, the VOD.
Yeah.
Also, Nissan's power level continues to grow. He's charging his English levels. Albert, in fact, committed that they're gonna have his English is improving. They're gonna bring him over for a convention panel or something, maybe.
Sick. I hope it's Sakura-con.
Yeah, he just said soon TM. I don't think they've got it lined up, but that seems like that's something they want to commit to, because that's why he's been improving his English, is so he can communicate with the global fan base a little bit better. But yeah, so honestly, a little surprising there was no other news, but given how chunky Olympus is, I don't think they really needed anything extra. I think the only thing people were concerned about was lack of, extra, animation updates or anything, but, they've got a downloads campaign soon, so here we are.
Here we are. And here we go.
Well, I have been getting reports, by the way, that there are some text bugs in later chapters. I heard it was around the chapter 21 mark, section 21. We're not there yet, so I didn't see it. But according to the notes, this has been patched, and there was a game update earlier, so should be clean. Let us know if there's any other problem issues. Okay, there was some bugs. Yeah, they've been going through a couple of. Oh wow, okay. I guess they just all happened while I was passed the fuck out, and I downloaded them all today. All right, well, as you could, hey, guess what, guys? The script is so dense, there are some bugs in uploading it, apparently.
Someone got to look at the code.
Literally, that's the script code, I think, to display the thing, and then just the localization just didn't have the data.
No, honestly, I think that's... Yeah, no, if I understand it right, that just... Whoever, was in that literally forgot to put in the message.
Yeah, there's just the code for displaying the message, and then it just doesn't have the quest after action message.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there have been a few text bugs. I think this is the first time this has ever happened to us, but it's kind of to be expected because, as we said, this chapter is huge.
Huge.
So, yeah, there seem to have been some glitches, but I believe most of them are patched out. People will let us know, and obviously we'll let you know if we encounter anything.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's all the news.
That's all the news. So, with that, we are going to move swiftly on because, boy, howdy, we got a back half. Like Demeter's ass.
Yeah.
It is time for this week's Let's Talk FGO Mailbag, the segment where what you have to say and comment accordingly. This week, we have 24. I did a refresh because I'm pretty sure someone just waited to the last.
Yes, I believe somebody snuck one in. Jingle jangle.
Jingle jangle. I'm going to try and get through these quickly. We will see how that happens. So, faffing is going to be reduced to a minimum. I hope everyone doesn't mind. But I don't want to necessarily have to, cut anyone off. Be like, no. Because I love it when you guys put things in. I really do.
Yeah.
So, with that,
guys really turned out because we had this one up for a while. So, we wanna at least acknowledge your efforts.
Yeah. So, we begin right meow. And the first one comes from Master, who's patiently waiting for Kyokoyo. They say, question, how do you both? Hope rolls went well for y'all.
It did not.
And hope story progression hasn't been too hard yet.
Debatable.
As for my question, I know people, myself including, use a variety of different servants when doing quests, but I often use my melt against Catholic classes nodes in the story, but try to use other servants of mine for offense to give them so love. So that said, my question is, do you find yourself using particular units often, or you try to spread the love out to your lesser used units in your story playthroughs? I'll definitely say no. I definitely have a regular stable I turn to for a lot of my servants. I definitely try and get them up to, basically, enough, so they have their bond 5. try to get their skills up to like minimum of 4, max level and stuff. And I take them out for a spin, just I can see how they work. But usually that means I usually hyper focus on certain ones, like my go-to assassin right now is Kama, because boy howdy, she really good at what she do. And because of that, when I usually bust out my Kama, that means I'm busting out my Scotty, usually to support her. Same with my Tama Cat. Who other ones do I rely on a lot? Well, whenever I get my art strats out, that usually means I'm pulling out Waver and Tamamo. Vlad too, if I just need to nuke one thing in particular. Let's see, who else is in my usual go-to? I've been working a lot more on my alter egos, like especially with my Sakura 5, so I've been pulling out Melt, King Protea, and Passion Lip. And I'm trying to give Consort Gang more love when dealing with Berserkers. Oh, that is definitely something. I have becoming using more Superhuman Orion more and more, because getting crits that do over like 300,000 damage like blows my mind constantly. I'm just like, ow!
I've gotten like 150, 160k crits easy on a non-NP turn. Just like, oh, hey, look, Super Orion has 3 red cards. Die. So for me, I make aggressive use of the Servant Select system. I will absolutely star Servants for later, and yes, I have a usual rotation. I have a lot of my welfares in there. Everybody I've ever, grailed to 100, so, Mordrids, Ishtars, etc. They usually get pre in there. All my support casters, stuff like that. And for story content, usually I stick with my select team, unless there is a specific niche I would need to pivot to. Like, because she's specialized, I technically do not have Maeve selected. But if there's a male boss who is weak to riders, I will definitely cycle her in, because she's pretty strong, But for the most part, I usually stick to whoever's in my selection team. Yes, that includes Mash. She's in my select team. I got some other bronzes in there. I got like Chen Gong and Arash selected. Now that my Asclepius is like NP5, thanks Odysseus Banner. He's in my select squad too. Right. BB is immune to burn. I'll remember that for when some stuff happens later. She is in my select, but I would not have thought to use Moon Cancer. Most of my foreigners, I think, are selected because Berserkers are a bitch. So yeah, no, I honestly, I'm much like the person who asked this question said. I usually prefer to like rotate in new servants during events, especially based on the bonus servant roster. But for story, it's I go with my people who I are well leveled, are very strong and ready to rock, possibly literally rock and roll. Bridges are good. Sorry, my brain is just filled with the PTSD of hearing Golden Drive so many times. Many Golden Drives.
Sorry, I get distracted. I was on Twitter for a second, and I was looking at the Ruby news.
Yeah, no, they're just gonna... I mean, I can't play the trailer because it has audio, I'm sure, but they're just making Ruby an actual anime.
Mm-hmm. It's being done by Shad, which is what blows my mind, and being directed by the guy who made Bakemonogatari, the first episode.
Okay,
which is powerful.
That's very strong, yeah. Jeez.
Yeah. That's why I was like, wait, wow.
I mean, wow. Once again, I know Ruby was, like, super popular in Japan. They really liked it over there. Which, by the way, is why I think the argument is Ruby anime is bullshit. Because Japan doesn't give a shit. But yeah, damn. Full beans, jeez. Speaking of Twitter, by the way, I see that Fate Go is trending again. FG has been trending off and on since Olympus dropped.
So, with that, let us keep moving on, though. We'll talk about that more on What's Up. This next one comes from Moon, is anxiously awaiting the Dioscuri banner. Hopefully, the delicious lasagna gacha will be merciful. I know I have like a Dioscuri now, but I wasn't actually expecting to get them. So I'm like, I have these small twins in my hand. I'm just like, what do I do with you?
If you want to know what to do with your Dioscuri, watch Wanted. I did a lot of research. It's not quite a conspiracy board, but like, if we ever want to talk about it, the idea of the twin gods is like actually a huge cultural deal.
Robin, you think I have unused embers? You think?
Yeah, I was about to say, you are implying that there are embers in Lucky's second archive, and that they are not all gone. All right, people are spamming and hella not safe for work. I need to mute the server.
Anyway, they go on to say, question. Heyo, Lucky and Mega. Olympus is fast approaching. After the pre-game last week, I've been wondering, how confident are you guys about clearing the bosses without reviving?
Have confidence. No confidence.
Oh.
That's that. Obviously, this was posted several days ago before the event was live, but my confidence levels are
shot. They finished with I was initially confident, but after the details, I'm not so sure anymore.
Yeah,
okay.
No, the details don't even matter. I read the fucking pregame and I still got surprised. I understand that, yeah. Well, I'll talk about it later in Section 7, Robin, but you said something when I was consulting you about that section that that gave you RNG that didn't happen to me, so... Anyway, we'll talk about that later, but yeah.
I see another reason to hate Robin. I'll put it on the list. So...
Dumb, stupid, idiot luck.
So, I was able to get through the Talos fight with only a couple tries. 7? I'll tell you guys now. I spent 3 quartz on that. I didn't actually use my command seals for a full revive. I used them to spam NP, hoping that would work. It did not work.
No, it takes a lot of practice. You gotta strategize on that one. It sucks.
Yeah, no, I can't actually tell you what number attempt I was, but I do remember this. It took me 37 turns to smack that fat ass.
Yeah, for me, I mean, Lucky's not gonna like it, but technically I think it was my 2nd or 3rd try, but that was after I got absolutely destroyed, went to NA Spoiler to yell about it, and people, talked some suggestions, and then I developed my entire strategy, which was called, Jean must fire flag every 3 turns. We must flag. And even then I still had to spend a Saint Quartz, because I did have to drop seals on that Talos Dioscuri fight, because that was bullshit. Y'all remember that thing I said where they have an NP that pierces invul? Yeah, that's hacks. Hacks, I say. Literal cheating. God, I mishmashed his damage cut so much. Oh my god, please. Give it back to me. I don't want to wait a year and a half. Oh my god. Yeah, no.
But
I do not recall how long it took me to do that fight, but it was long. And I actually got 1 pip of my seal back, and I did have to use it to make Ketz fire her NP 2 turns in a row as my linebacker. We'll talk about it later, but
we'll get there. We'll get there. So no, I am I am 2 big fights in, and I'm already, I'm already bleeding rainbows here, y'all. Ugh.
Woo.
We'll get there. Honestly, I'm probably done. Like I said, you guys don't understand. I was doing the Demeter fight at work, and my numbers at today were horrible, and I'm gonna have to come up with some bold-faced lie to tell my employers Monday when they're like, "So, Lucky, why are your numbers so low?" And I'm just gonna have to come up with something off the top of my head and just be like, because I'm not going to tell them. I was just literally so mad and trying so hard to beat this fucking fat-ass goddess, in this game on work hours. It literally got me mad.
Oh, I know. You were very spiced.
I was very spiced. But I did it eventually. No, I'll talk about my actual strat once we actually get to the
Yeah,
podcast.
I gave you the short version of my comp, but if you guys are curious, I have my list later. We can talk about it when we get there.
We can talk about it a bit. So, Moon, I hope that explains things, hopefully.
I've been told that Demeter is really the gut check, but I still don't know if any of these will be any quote-unquote easier.
I don't know if it's any easier. I just don't need so many things that are just actively fucking me over. The next bit we're on. I'm not going to enjoy the end of that. I know it. So, we're going to move on. This next one comes from Hassan of the long paragraphs trying to mend his ways. Will I succeed? Looking at this? No.
You did not.
Hey, I see this person has called me Lucy. Hey, Lucy and Omega. How goes the Olympus climb?
We told you already, Section 10.
I like being underground, y'all. No climbing.
I'm safe underground.
Yep. I do adore your 4-hour plus LTs. Don't even think of something else besides Let's Talk. And it's one of those things I look forward to the most during store releases. Oh boy, howdy. I hope you are ready. We're going to be here in a minute. How's the Olympus prep coming along? I recently purchased copies of Fondant au Chocolat for anti-divine butt kicking, although running numbers on base, and Kiryu does 25k more damage with Foxy.
Fondant au Chocolat.
Or something like Aerial Drive, and I'm recalibrating my support setup for this purpose. Anything you want in particular at Omega.
You're implying I get to pick your support options, buddy.
Yeah, no! That's a point number 1 on my bullet list of why this fight is bullshit.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't think I'm gonna get that option. I'm good. If I had a pick, I'd probably want some kind of double Merlin bullshittery. But listen, team-wide invol's a hell of a drug.
My question to the two of you is, if you could have one of our LB companions so far as a pseudo-servant, who would you pick? I'm referring to Paxi, Gerda, Asha, and that one guy who had the hearts for Charlotte. If we're adding in other PCs, I suppose the tactician from Sin comes into this category.
What about the boy who was cool in Sin?
Best of luck on your climb, and may the coming events not leave you in too much of an emotional mess. Seriously, I'm not looking forward to losing data. I probably never will. Cheers. P.S. Miss and failed.
We'll get him
Don't
next time.
Don't you mean fish and mailed?
I mean, either works. There's also the classic Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Mission failed. We'll get him next time. Thanks, Ghost. Or Gaz, whichever version you are. You died both games. Most people in chat seem to be saying Patsy, but I got a couple.
Actually, right now, I'm quite particular on the twins right now.
It's true. This was written like 2 days ago before that happened, but the twins are cool.
The twins are cool. It's like they're interesting. But following that up, it'd probably be Paxi.
My friend, the doggo.
Doggo. So, we move on. Thank you very much. The next one comes from a master having a vision of Zeus being a support mechanical god of children's card game and thinking, this makes way too much sense.
Yeah, there's a very powerful meta card at Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, which is called Zeus.
Zeus!
And he is a giant robot. It's very funny.
Actually, I think I saw a Dojin by Arexawaru who also had Zeus as like a giant mechanical god. But he was actually a Shota boy inside. I wonder what's the symbolism between, giant mechanical creations and gods. I'm pretty sure there's something. Oh wait, I know why. I bet it's because of a Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah,
probably. I bet people probably make a correlation between the terms. Donikaku, what did this person have to say? Hey! Lucky Omega, welcome to Olympus, and hope your rolls didn't murder your wallets. I mean, I have more money, but I don't want to spend more money.
Yeah, correct. I mean, I'm not like I'm going to go broke or anything, but I also don't want to look at my bank account right now. I don't want to see the little pip for the Google.
After a few 10 rolls in Heartbreaking Spooks, I pulled both new servants in one roll, so it was worth it in the end. What's that term? Oh, it's the sunk cost fallacy or something? I think it's sunk cost fallacy. But basically just the feeling of, like, because you got it, it was all worth it. I'm like, was it? Was it really? Ooh, excuse me. Give me the nitro of this Lostbelt. Do you think humanity would have a chance to prosper if the gods hadn't fought among themselves? Given their blessings of barren power, I think they would help human progress into something amazing. Well, no use worrying about that now. Time to bring this Lostbelt down. Sending you good vibes. Wah, 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 wah. And see you next week. P.S. The alias is reference to Yu-Gi-Oh! In case you didn't know. Zeus is quite OP in any form, it seems. Actually, this is the point that I bring up later in the notes. So we're gonna put a pin in this one, and we'll get back to it. We'll come back to this one. Yeah, I can take you are right about that, but I'm saying I can't think of the proper term off the top of my head.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely an expounding of the sunk cost fallacy of like, well, when you reach the sunk cost point, you're like, it was fine.
Yeah, I did it. Moving right on! This next one comes from bringing our Junior Alter and Chi-Chi Wong into Olympus. For the Lostbelt Showdown, we will never get.
Oh yeah, this is this one.
This one. Oh, this one has 3. What the fuck? Alright, I know. Hey, Loki Omega, hope the Canis Dioscuro rolls and new story chapter fights have been going well for you both. They have not. For this week's Choose Your Question adventure, 1. The theoretical prima phenomena occurs when mankind reaches a dead end of stagnation by some form as seen as with various Lost Belts. If Kuritsugu had been able to wish for world peace on uncorrupted Holy Tale as intended, would that have set the timeline to be pruned? I mean, honestly, I could probably just say probably.
Yeah, maybe.
Like I said,
it depends on how world peace occurs. Like, just do we...
Yeah.
If there is no conflict ever, then yes. I think we have proven that is one of the things that...
That's stagnation, y'all.
Yeah. If there is no... it's what is it? It's dialectics. It's a philosophical concept. You need two philosophies rise, they fight for dominance, and then either one wins out or you have a synthesis occur between them. Yeah. Shout out to Fallout New Vegas Caesar for teaching me about that one.
Yeah, but without conflict, we cannot grow. One must clash against another for growth. That is experience.
Yeah, you need some kind of challenge, and if there's no challenge amongst people, there's no conflict. If you're just all in agreement, then we will not grow as people.
Or, too bad we're doing them all because I fucking feel like it. Not sure if this is a spoiler or not due to Not sure if this is a spoiler or not due to how recent the recent chapter was. The Olympian gods are described as arcs across the sea of universes. They imply they are transporting something from the site of origin. If not, are they representative of the right of Earth, or are they AIs created by someone else that eventually took on the personas of gods over the eons? This is another point that...
I'm sure that one will come back later, both in this show and also probably later in the story chapter.
Yes, this is also another point that we thought. 3. The strength of heroic spirits is based on how well the legend is and how old the legend is. Would a hero from a little known but very old legend have stronger stats than the one that is modern but very well known?
Yes.
Yes.
Nasu has always shown favoritism towards older but more obscure, as evidenced by how Gilgamesh can pull out literally nameless prototype noble phantasms and have them be better than like Archer doing the same thing, just copying like replicas of swords that are newer because their legends is less evolved. Also, somebody in chat brought up that the Greek gods are like the Transformers. No, because if Zeus was out here yelling "freedom is the right of all sentient beings," we would have a very different episode. If Zeus was Optimus Prime, we wouldn't have this problem.
Literally. So we're gonna move on. Thank you very much. This next one comes from the Tyrant King punching through Olympus now with a gun.
Gun.
Everyone make cocking noises.
I actually own a.
Wait, do we still have?
Yes, we have an emote for this.
Yes. Question. Hey, Lucky and Megan. Question for Megan this week, since the other Yugi tubers do videos on other card games every now and then. Will you be doing videos on different card games out there like Magic the Gathering, Vanguard, or Digimon? I'm just gonna do a quick pan to you, Omega.
So not on actual like April Fool's-ish times, because that won't work out. But I think it's 2 weeks from now. April 5th is Dallas's birthday, and also our next fail portrayal. Because it was recently April Fool's, we're gonna look at Magic the Gathering cards and probably laugh at how silly the old art is, and possibly talk about some bullshit. Because we do that from time to time. That is a conversation I can get into because I have actually played Magic once or twice. I don't really have any other experience with other card games, and I do not have the brain space to pick up anything right now, and also I don't know if the audience is there, so probably not much beyond that. But you can expect us to do like occasional check-ins with stuff every now and then. I can also pull up like Pokemon cards and laugh at them. We can laugh about Fat Pikachu. God, old school Pikachu art. That art is so fat. Why is he so fat on that stump?
So chubby.
But yes, we actually have something MTG related planned for a couple of weeks from now.
So look forward to that. We are going to move on. Also, for Lucky, what spring anime are you looking forward to? Take care and have a great evening punching some gods. For me, I actually am quite excited for quite a few of them. We have the new season of Kaguya-sama, Spy X Family. Second season of Komi-san. Shikimori-san is not just a cutie, is also high on my list. There's a couple more. I don't necessarily care about Shirihyoto, but trapped in a dating sim, the world of Ultimate Games is tough for mobs is super up there on fair for me. I'm excited about that one. I'm super excited about that one. As I say, as I have all 5 of the English light novels on my shelf, well read, very well read. I like how I'm getting this question. This other person was all like, let me answer myself. I'm just like, I see. So you just wanted to talk about them yourself. I see how you are. But no, there's a lot of stuff out there. Unfortunately, I haven't had a lot of time watching as much anime as I like because I am drowning in games.
Yeah, it's bad. Like it's Friday. I think like 4 fucking games came out. It's bad.
I'm kind of glad that Tokyo Ghost Warrior has been delayed because I still haven't beaten Stranger to Paradise. I am superficially mad at Rune Factory 5. I yelled about this on Twitter. Mm-hmm. And a game that I actually forgot about, Anno Mutationum, came out, but I decided to delay that for the physical copy, which is being done by Limited Run Games, which means it's going to take a hot minute.
Yeah.
But then, so I'm just like, oh!
I'm still working on Triangle Strategy. Ghost Warrior's been delayed. So while I've heard some issue, like I know at least one streamer had to stop streaming it because it crashed, but Tiny Tina's Wonderlands came out, and apparently reviews say it good, and I'm just like,
I totally forgot about Tiny Tina, but I don't got time for it. I don't!
No, we'll work on that later. Maybe we can both get it. We can play it together.
That'd be hilarious.
Actually, fuck, we could stream that. We could actually play together and stream. That'd be funny.
Actually, I think I would rather do a recording and then make a highlights clip.
That would probably be better, because unfortunately, assuming it's still like a Borderlands game, there's going to be a lot of nonsense where we have to, like, kill 20 bears for bear nuts or something, and then that's going to give us a shitty gun.
Potential.
We'll think about it.
Well,
Because we're not in any hurry to pick up that game, even though, like,
Not
I said,
right
it's
now.
good. Also, funnily enough, shout out to Ashley Birch, just making a killing, I guess, because she is both Aloy and Tiny Tina. Talk about range.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a Borderlands game. I would not be shocked if there was a bear arm. You can get melee weapons and stuff, I think, in addition to guns, just because.
I will not be surprised if there's just a quest called Right to Bear Arms.
Basically,
sure
Borderlands just took a leaf out of Bungie's book and was just like, so we want to write fantasy, but we don't want to change our engine or any of our expertise about first-person shooters. What if we just make a fantasy first-person shooter? And everybody is like, nobody cares. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's how it works.
People play Vermintide.
And with that, we are going to move on. And this next one comes from Zit, or Zete, I'm not sure. Z-E-T-E? Z-T? I am bamboozled by this word. But they say, hello, Lucky and Mega. My question for this week is, do you have any way to play or collect servants as CEs that's outside of normal intended gameplay? For example, at some point I decided I wanted to collect and eliminate all 3-star CEs in the game. So I saved my freedom points and some of my sync coins with that goal. No reason at all. I just decided it on a whim one day, and it's always been 3 years. I've seen some people collect servants or CEs that have the same artist. I want to know if you do something like that as well. Thank you for your hard work, and have a great week.
I mean, it's definitely more character-oriented for us for the most part.
Like, here's the thing. I'm a person who's like, I only collect servants. Like, I would, like, intentionally collect servants I like. But if you guys don't know, I have an infamously low threshold for liking a servant.
Yeah. There's, like... Honestly, we could probably do that I am a genius, oh no meme for Lucky and just be like, I only roll servants I like. Oh no!
So true.
It's just...
Like, if we're going with specific artists, I do like collecting artists that I actually know fairly well. So, like, Raita, Wada Arco, Pochi.
I mean, we've definitely talked about how, like, redrop CEs have been the wind beneath our wings, and then got to design a servant, and that servant is Kama. So, like, yeah, it's great. Anything Paco does is amazing. I'm a big fan of at least the stuff they do on Twitter for Azusa, who's Canis' artist.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's a lot of vibes there.
Like, in particular, voice actresses too. Like, I'm a big fan of Chiwa Saito and Sayori Hayami.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime I see them, I'm just excited. So it's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of all and a little bit of everything.
If your CE has a Medusa in it, I want it.
Yeah. Aoyuki is powerful too. Like, I'm so excited that Chiwa Saito did the Fox Girl, one of the Fox Girls in Blue Archive. Like, as soon as we get done like with this event, I'm gonna be like super hard saving for Wakamo. Well, probably not super hard saving. I think there's a couple more Gehenna girls that will come out that I'll probably want, but usually that's what I do. Usually, like, I pick, like, in a lot of games, I usually pick like Azure Lane. Like, I'm a big Iron Blood stan, and Blue Archive, I'm a big Gehenna stan. Like, sometimes I go factional in my likes to be like, yes, I'll have all of these, and else who comes over.
I mean, honestly, that's pretty common, and probably why games do faction systems is you can, like, it gives their artists and character designers, like, design notes they can work off of, and then also you can, just give stuff to get in there. Yeah, Melon22. Huge fan of that guy on Twitter, and then got a servant.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
By the way, I have posted a exhibit from Anime Japan for FGO, which appears to involve many giant standees.
One of those is gonna get stolen.
Nah, that's why they got that hand sign like a foot away. They're letting you know you do not approach.
Yes, I might have a thing for militaristic women in uniform. Maybe.
Also, yes, in fact, Orion, Super Orion is huge. Yes, thank you for noticing. Shout out to him looming over my friend Mandricardo. That was the greatest thing, by the way, when they talk about Atlantis. Tanaka-san was like, my friendo, Mandricardo, and I'm like, yes, speak the truth.
He's the best. Anyways, oh, that's right. Jujutsu Kaisen movies out. Do I actually want? No. Not having a vehicle right now is good and bad, because if I had a vehicle, I'd be like, yeah, I'm just gonna go to the movie theater. But now if I want to go, I have to be all like, I don't have to plan a bus trip or bother my dude to give me a lift, and that requires effort, which I don't want to do. So I guess I just won't see it, and I'll continue to play Room Factory 5 and cry over my lack of Fox MILF.
TM.
So with that, we shall move on. This next one comes from Sencho as Love, Sencho as Life. Also, shout out and congrats to Hololive Indonesia's 3rd generation release. Holy shit. Surprise!
And they had a big festival as well with lots of 3D
Yeah, they
stuff.
did. Yeah, they did. But they say, ahoy! I hope you both are well. They actually called this chapter Greek Fest with all the bosses. I mean, what else were you expecting in a Lostbelt based on Olympus?
There are many to punch.
There are many. Just wanted to ask, how does your gameplay change when shit gets serious? For example, when things get rough, I pull out max bonded turns or maxed out mystic codes. Also, pats for Omega in his rolls, and hope lucky you're alright if you rolled as well. I'm alive, I guess.
I thank you for your sympathy.
Thanks. So,
I mean, I can say really quick, for me, it's the same. Like, when it's story and it's a real boss fight, I don't give a shit if it's max level, right? Like, I'm like, no, I need this unit. We're in there.
Yeah, no, like, usually with bosses, that means I try to pull out my big hitters, which again is usually like my NP5s of whatever class I have available. Yeah. Like I said, if Demiurge had been a writer, she'd been fucked. She literally would have been fucked. Not Canis. Kama would have destroyed her. But that's not how I rolled. I'm like, God damn it.
Also, that would have been really easy for me, yeah, because I have like all of the single target assassins. If there's a 5-star single target assassin, I've got him.
That's like I would have busted out Jack. I would have busted out Kama. I put a Scotty on the side to be like,
oh god, that's probably why she's not a writer. Jack would have just snaps. Nom.
My god.
I got MHX. I got Gramps. My MHX is like NP2 or 3? What ridiculous level? I think it's 2.
Or Mystic Codes,
but it's purely from fucking GSSRs, which is stupid.
Like, when it comes to Mystic Codes, I don't really necessarily pull out max level in Mystic Codes, because usually I need my Mystic Codes to do a thing. Like, with that fat-ass goddesses, I had, combat, because I needed to get Canis out immediately.
I did use a max, because I used my, I'm a big fan. There's a reason why it's my one that's max leveled, and the others are, like, level 4 or 5. I'm a big fan of the Mage Association one, because of the team heal and the 20%, battery. And I went with that one, because I was like, I require additional NP gauge.
Honestly, if I had that, I probably would have done it a bit faster. Do you know how many times my John was at like 88% and she's about to do the fucking, I gained 3 pips suddenly. I'm like, God,
this, by the way, is why, if anybody's wondering, this is why I have a level 90 Prisma Cosmos. This right here. To do that. It's MLB. It's there. That's why I do that.
Maybe I should have tried that, but
that's if you haven't tried that, that's always my strategy, because Jean doesn't gain NP every turn, is I give her my MLB Prisma Cosmos. She gets 10% every turn. It's usually pretty good. If she can get a couple arts cards in there, it's fine. And then spoilers for later. I also had my Da Vinci Wheelie in there, who is also really good at making you generate lots of NP very fast.
So let us keep moving on. Thank you very much. This next one comes from the abandoned warehouse. It says, "Hello, my fellow destroyer of worlds, Lucky Omega. I tried rolling for the twins, but Desire kicked in and then gave me MP2 Canis."
I understand. You can't always get what you want.
Olympus has been awesome. I'm really loving this chapter. I'm not too far in the story, thanks to a certain evil, sexy fox. But I'm loving everything thus far.
Yeah, that's farther than me.
Also, Leia doesn't pull her punches when shit gets serious, sending out not only an army of servants and the Atlantic LB, but also 2 Pioneer of the Surge, Drake and Tesla, and a Grand Servant. Oh, I didn't know Drake was in here. No question this week.
Yeah, Drake was in the Lostbelt, remember?
Oh, that's right. And
used her special power to anger Poseidon.
Just stole a core, yoink. No question this week. Too much excitement, not enough brain power. So cool. Yes, AI separating Kentucky has entered a logic loop of cool. What was it that the person said about the counterforce before this all got started? That it was meticulous, meddlesome, and what was the last one? It was another M.
Yeah, I don't remember. Malicious? Yeah,
Oh yeah, no, it was meticulous, meandering, and mean-spirited.
yeah. It'll just that's basically the best way to talking about the no pulling punches. Like,
Yeah.
no. We'll find something. Are you hacking? Well, guess what? I'm gonna hack back.
Thank you, Carlos, for having that easily readable.
There's so many fucking screenshots in spoiler chat right now.
Oh, I bet.
I am some of them. Also, I took way too long making a meme. We'll talk about it later.
Talk about it later. But thank you very much for that. We're going to move on. This next one comes from Commandant of the Purifying Force. Greetings, Rebellion Lucky and Yamato Omega. Are those ships?
Maybe it's
just
Gundam related. Anything could be a Gundam.
And that's true. They are ships. Okay, cool. I know the Yamato's a ship, but the Yamato's a famous ship. I don't know of any ships named
There's
Rebellion.
also a lot of things named Yamato for a reason.
Just want to say hello and thank you for that recent wanted episode of the Diascuri Twins. I got them in full multis. Bit, I really wanted Canis. It seems like this is a lot. Oh, that's true. Rebellion and Yamato are swords from DMC. Wait, I want to be Yamato! How dare! I want to cut dimensions. Actually, that reminds me. I actually finally got my copy of DMC 4. With this, I now have DMC 1 through 5. Well, Devil May Cry, I don't actually have a physical copy of DMC. I should find one. I think that's the only one I don't have now. Donikaku. They say, I just want to say hello and thank you for that rating monster Diascuri stream. I got them in full multis, but I really want to Canis. Still happy I got an RSSR. I'm working hard to clear the story and lock the grinding nodes for the Olympus mats for my twin sabers. Have a good day. Same to you!
Dioscuri's skill requirements and ascension requirements actually are bad.
And we move on. Thank you very much. This next one comes from King of Apples, who is a sip. You didn't tell him about the late mailbag last week. Haha! This is why you must pay attention! Constant vigilance!
Also, to be fair, how do you constitute didn't tell you? Because when Lucky posts the mailbag, he posts about it in like 3 different channels on our Discord.
I would post it on Twitter, but I usually do that while at work, and I'm very leery about going on work to Twitter on work because reasons.
I mean, if you want a social media post, I can just, when I see you post about it, I can just cross-post it to Twitter.
If you do that, I'd be very appreciative.
I believe we can easily share community posts via the Twitter buttons.
Buttons?
I'll keep that in mind for next week.
I'll shoot you a message. Question, since we're obviously going to fight some of the Greek gods on Olympus, which Greek god, excluding Artemis and Apollo, would we like mostly see as servants? Excluding Artemis and Apollo, would we be most likely to see as servants / see along with servants? Sorry. Technically, that's not incorrect, but it threw me off.
There's a lot of S, a lot of C.
Yeah.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Well, right now, for obvious reasons, I would like to see, I am willing to put money that one of those fucking silhouettes is Zeus.
Yeah, so there's some big guys with some rings and some circles behind them.
Like, seeing Zeus's design now, I'm like, yeah.
Somebody show me the silhouette again.
Do we have the silhouette really handily available? Because there's something I've definitely noticed about the gods here, is they usually have their base sprite, and then they have a sprite with, like, some sort of ring behind them.
Yeah, they have multiple sprites, which has given a lot of people the playable danger zone. I mean, we'll discuss it later, but I do believe we had all but confirmation that Persephone is engraved in the Throne of Heroes.
Yeah.
Which would make sense, because she does go to the underworld, so I guess she dies. Yeah, I don't know if the exact silhouette matches up.
It also, doesn't.
We haven't seen any of these guys, right? None of these guys have come out yet.
I'm pretty sure that's going to change here with Anime Japan.
Oh, I'm sure. It's just like that. It just gave me a like. Oh yeah, because like last time they did this, 2 of them came out right away because we had Little Big Tengu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that big guy isn't Zeus, though he does have some stuff behind him. But I also don't know with all the big ones. Zeus is swole.
Yeah, Zeus is pretty thick. Very classical design.
Then again, I don't know if you would actually put him in the silhouette form because everybody would literally recognize him, right? Like everybody would be like, I recognize those giant mitts. Because you could literally 1-to-1 match the poses. Because guess what? There are silhouette versions of Zeus seen in this Lostbelt.
That's true.
I don't know if they would do that because it would be really fucking obvious.
Well, again, we have designs and we have sprites of them, so I would like to see Zeus, Demeter, and Aphrodite, just not as they are right now for reasons.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think we could probably get an Athena in without anybody going nuclear, especially because the way Medusa and the Gorgons work is not based on the Ovid version.
Yo, give me Rider Hades and his chariot and his dog.
Yeah.
And Assassin Persephone, because that'd be hilarious. She can have his invisible cap.
Stealth mode.
Nah, I'm still on the idea. Ares is kind of crazy, but I still want him as a saber just so we can have the Sword of Mars, and we'd be like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah, that would be one of those ones that would be awkward for reasons.
So let's not stay too long on this, and carry swiftly on.
We don't say that name. I believe it has been over a year since I have acquired an NP level of that assassin, aka a rare prism. I think I've moved on to other stick.
Excuse me.
But yes, let us roll down the questions.
We roll on. This next one comes from Agent 418, operating in OST, Omega Standard Time, this week. Hello, Lucky Omega. With this lotto probably being Lasagna's first event with very little Delightworks influence, how the decisions made leave you feeling about future event planning? P.S. Have a good weekend. Well, considering I don't...
We don't really have anything to go on, do we?
Yeah, no. We do not play JP, so we are not involved in the JP process.
I think the only thing that seems to be unusual is that they have put in relatively recent mats. I know that it did kind of feel like Delightworks is sometimes a little hesitant to give people access to newer shit. See how you can't just get Odysseus on a fucking SSR ticket. But there's also, I don't think we got any actual factual evidence to go on yet.
We will see as things go on, though.
Not to mention, events are usually planned like 6 months to a year ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I this is like when Asmodee, the gaming company, switched like Fantasy Flight games to just card games and board games, and they moved RPGs and minis to somewhere else. Like for the first year of all that content, that's all just still old Fantasy Flight stuff that was already in the works. They're just changing the logos. It doesn't matter. Nothing new is happening yet. So we'll see if it kicks in. Probably around anniversary is when we're going to start to get a little jingle jangle and figure out what's up.
Jingle, jangle, jingle. So, with that, we move on. This next one comes from The Eternal Storm, who says, good day to you. I'm wishing you both luck with this new Lostbelt. Thank you. I fucking need it. Question, with the release of Dioscura, I was wondering, would you like to see another Constellation/Zodiac inspired servant in this who?
Well, you see, I think about 10 out of 12 of them are just Hercules.
I mean, we could get Leda and the Swan.
I mean, there's a shitload of constellations, but Zodiac specifically, the Greek Zodiac is mostly Herc. That's Aquarius is Herc.
That's the I think we're thinking
Virgo, I'm pretty sure is not. I'm trying to remember which one that's supposed to represent.
Virgo.
That's one of the ladies in Greek mythology. Scorpio is just the scorpion that's chasing Orion, probably.
I see here. I'll look it up real super quick.
I mean, Libra's weird. I don't even know if anybody.
Apparently, Virgo is associated with Persephone.
Interesting.
I could be wrong, but let me see here. Mythology: Virgo is related to Dight, the Greek god of justice, and Persephone, the daughter of Demeter, the harvest goddess. According to Greek mythology, the earth experienced eternal spring until the god of underworld, the spring maiden. I don't know. This seems like a half-assed fucking site, but who knows?
I mean, on the Wikipedia,
I'm also seeing Astrea.
Yeah, which is very funny because also the scales. Then again, what's the order this goes in? Libra's right after Virgo, so that could make sense. But I'm pretty sure Aries, Taurus, Gemini is obviously Dioscuri, Cancer. I mean, we technically have Sagittarius already. Oh, what is Cancer? Ptolemy. Oh, it's the crab that Hera sent to get you. He's gonna give you the snips when Herc was fighting the Hydra. So that's another Herc. Yes, Hera gave Heracles crabs. Get your jokes out now. I mean, Pisces is funny. Because Pisces is supposed to be that time Aphrodite and Eros turned into fish to get away from Typhon because he was very scary. And I think the other one we don't know what the fuck is Capricorn because I don't think anybody knows what the fuck the sea goat is supposed to be about.
I want to say Canis right now. Closest thing I've seen to a sea goat.
Mythology. Despite famous kind of oldest mythology.
Listen, I'm literally rating this thing for Virgo. No one can fucking agree.
Capricorn is in Greek mythology. It is sometimes identified as Amalthea, the goddess suckled Zeus. Amalthea's broken horn was turned into Capricornia. It's also sometimes associated with Pan, who gave himself a fishtail to avoid Typhon. That's just Pisces again. I mean, really, it's the real thing is that the Babylonians had a name for this constellation. identified with Ea, which was Mulshurmas, the goatfish.
Goatfish.
But the Greeks were just like, yeah, no, there's not a time-traveling goatfish. Listen, don't, if you read something by a New Age website on the internet about the astrology, about the constellations, it was probably made up. Probably during the 60s, everybody was high on LSD. Fake news. Yeah, I don't know. I think we've exhausted some of our big boy zodiac stuff. There's definitely some other constellation stories that are out there, though. I mean, I'd love to go for Callisto or some major.
Bear Mom.
No, I think New Age hippies in the 60s were definitely high on LSD.
So, with that, let us move on.
Crystals.
We have many pages to get through here, guys.
Yeah, we got a lot to do.
So, we shall move on. This next one comes from a notorious Dan who asked his servants to make him Captain Bravo's silver skin. Greetings, Sunlight, Heart Lucky, and Sword Samurai X Omega. Okay. I get the reference because I actually have watched this anime, but again, I'm like, I want to be the Asian sword. I hope you're both doing well. I'm sending you the good vibes. And good luck on your rolls. The man guy, I hope your rolls went well. I spent all 270 Saint Quartz I got on Dioscuri first. Not surprised since I am a Gemini. Then Canis came on the last multi. Have a great rest of your weekend. You have ruined it, sir. Your luck has unmade me. Preeti, get the hints. Reverence, Buso Rinkin. That's an old...
I don't remember anything about that anime, but I remember that fucking OP.
Yeah, it was great.
It's a great OP. I think the anime was okay. I think I watched like the first season, maybe. It was good.
I liked it.
But like, damn, the fucking the OP was a banger. Listen, the 2000s were a weird time.
They were the best of times. So, we move on. This next one comes from Non-Humble Arts Enthusiast, who says, hey, Lucky Omega, with the conclusion of Blue Book's journey in the previous story chapter and existence of sub-chapters like 5.5, do you think likely we'll get a chapter in Area 51? There are so many mysteries, like the potential origins of the alien god, the fact that the texture has become erased, the mysterious figure that shot Blue Book. Plus, I would like another chapter in America since the last one seemed more Celtic. Maybe we can see more American servants like Washington and more folkloric figures like Paul. Sorry if this run a bit long. It's been on my mind for quite some time. Your thoughts? I mean, I pretty much agree.
Sorry if this has run a bit long. No, you're fine, dude.
Iku.
Yeah,
yes, Pilion was the best.
I assume we have to, right? Like, we've done a lot of building up of the Area 51 thing, without actually, like, us, the characters in Chaldean, knowing about it. So I assume that has to come back. Otherwise, that was just, like, weird background.
I don't think we're gonna... I don't know if it'll be a full-on 5.5, since it's only, one location, unless we're gonna have this big old thing of, like, where, like, maybe there's something under Area 51. But I can see that probably being more of, like, a mini-story event, much how, like, Prison Tower or something else was like that. So...
It could also be, like, a prologue chapter thing. Just be like, hey, before we go to this place, let's just pop in here. It's fine.
I do think there is some critical need-to-know information at Area 51, but I do not think they'll necessarily make a giant deal over it.
Yeah.
But we shall move on. This next one comes from Rotsiv, king of saving up 800 coins and counting for Summer 5. Hey yo, you two. That's two.
Incorrect,
that's
two.
two. Yeah, that was a 2 with T-O-O. I'm still saving up some coins to spend for Abigail this summer and ticks for Koyo and Castoria. Hope you guys are saving for your next big pool as well.
No.
I am not. Nope.
I'm saving, well, technically I'm resaving so I can yeet more rolls at this current banner, yes.
Question today is, out of your favorite servants in Fate, are there any you think you probably wouldn't get along with if you met in person? I'm, of course, talking about the Fate version, not the in real life history or myth ones. Just to be clear. That's the first time I've actually seen a JTBC, but I figured it out.
Smart.
Thanks for your time, and hope you two have a good day. I mean, like, I don't think I'm necessarily that hard a person to get along with, as long as you aren't saying something stupid.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't like servants I wouldn't get along with.
Yeah.
Given how much personality we get around them. I know, like, obviously sometimes it can be like, oh, so cool, but, like, for the most part, we spend a lot of time with these characters to get us to like them, so, like, nah.
So, we shall move on. In your case, Axe, it's not that hard.
It feels harder than it is, I'm sure.
It'd be a lot harder if you just sometimes didn't say anything at all. So. Oh man, we're not even at the fucking thing and you're already yawning.
Yeah, I know. I need to, like, I want to take 5 somewhere, but I also don't want to leave the questions, so we only got like a few more. We'll do an intermission when we get through. I need to just, like, splash some water on my face.
Splash.
Because it is also, like, 10 p.m. to listen.
Listen, to hang out, and make... What's the word I want to say? Unfortunately, my vocabulary frowns me, but there's a word where you say something at the right time, at the right thing at the right time, but I can't think of what the word is at the top of my head.
Gotta stop, collaborate, and listen.
So, this next one comes from Bunny Girl versus Kane as the battle for anime waifus now begins. Evening, guys. I got a good question for tonight. If you cosplay any FGO character of any sex, who would you pick and why? Get ready for Olympus and make Canis plus your roles.
She did not. How dare you?
Oh, who would I... Right now, I wouldn't cosplay anyway. I'm too fat for this shit. God, I need to lose weight. I would love to do an Nostofo cosplay one day, though. That'd be hilarious.
Just throw me in Ryder Kentoki's gear.
Yes, that's a good one, too.
I would not go for regular Kentoki. He's showing way too much chest. My chest is not as polished and shiny as his is.
I'd probably also like to do Leonidas. That'd be real simple.
Yeah. Arthur with the hood up. Yeah, that's easy, too.
I'm trying to think here. What outfits do I absolutely enjoy looking at here?
Put me in Sigurd's first ascension, so I'm completely covered by armor.
I think I'd also like to do a cursed arm, honestly. That seems fun. Just be cool, uncle.
Cosplay Babbage, just walk around in a power suit.
That would be very difficult, in my opinion. I think the one I want to do the most, though, but I would need a girlfriend for this, is I want to cosplay Roma. I think that's generally at the top of my list.
Mm-hmm. But you need an audio?
Yeah, I need an audio. Yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm going to say. I would love to do a Roma. Just get the white suit. Just be cool.
Well, no, I can't do Shungu. He's a robot. No, I would not be able to pull off Audio's look. Also, I can't fly. Somebody said Waver earlier. Actually, speaking of, somebody mentioned Edison. Tesla's look is usually pretty cool. Just gauntlet, big floofy cape.
Mm-hmm.
Science. Actually, no. What I should probably do is Sherlock.
You probably like Sherlock.
Give me the suit, the coat over it. Give me some giant magnifying glasses.
I mean, if Omega's gonna be Sherlock, then I gotta be Moriarty.
Moriarty in his bartending costume, specifically.
Specifically, yes. No, like, cosplaying is one of those things I always like to daydream and think about, but I'm one of those people who's like, if I don't feel like I actually fit the character, I don't want to do them. So usually, me being the way I am right now, I don't feel necessarily a particular urge or drive to think about it over long, so...
We've already spent a decent amount of time on this as is.
Yep. So, we shall move on. Thank you very much, though. This next one comes from Procrastinator, who needs to plan ahead more. I'll have something to say next week. Maybe. Sending good vibes. Wah, 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 wah.
Sorry, somebody in chat said Saito, because he looks tired as they feel.
Pretty powerful.
Damn,
Mood. Goddamn, you mentioned the P5 Pro tag, and I just keep thinking about the ad I see for Persona Ultimax, and it's just the image of fucking the P4 protagonist getting fucking suplexed by Aegis, and I die thinking about it every single fucking time.
God, yeah, Arena goes so hard. I need to pick that one up.
I gotta pick that up at some point. But this next one comes from the Aliases Maces. What does it mean? Good evening, Gray Good.
Are you okay?
Sorry.
Are we being mentally attacked right now? Hello?
No, sorry. My uplink to the greater lucky consciousness failed a little bit there. We're good. There was a tear bit of sleep at the consoles. We're fine. Good evening, Lucky Omega. No question this week. Just sending you both the good vibes. Wah, 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 wah. And wishing you good luck in this freight train of a Lostbelt. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yep. Sorry, I'm getting a little chilly. It's cold.
Let's go. Here we go.
I need to shut my window.
This lesson comes from the Soul Bad Guy. I don't actually need to reference this because I play Guilty Gear. Well, I play Guilty Gear and I don't tell anybody because we have too many people who play fighting games in our games channel. And anytime I go in there, I'm just all like, I don't want to feel like I want to be a part of this conversation because I don't understand it. I like fighting games. I'm just not good at them. The people who are talking into games, they seem like they're good at them. So I'm just like, these are not my people.
I mean, I don't play Guilty Gear, but I get it. Because you can't really miss a name like Soul Bad Guy.
Mm-hmm. So they say, hello, Lucky Omega has fate, space, space, grand order. I just wanted to point that out, by the way. Held an event/story where the protagonist plays an evil role. Regardless, have a good week. Soul Bad Guy from Guilty Gear.
Hi, have you played this Lostbelt?
I was about to say, it's like...
This is a fucking, like, Bioshock Infinite shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, it literally is. When he mentioned the mark on the, their hand, I was all like, infinite? But no, in this case, evil, like, Musashi actually has a good line about this. I believe in section 9 when you run into some kids and they talk. But no, like, one of the things about this Lostbelt is, yes, like, these Lostbelts have overwritten human history, but that is not through any fault of their own. That is through the actions of another. So all these people who are living in these Lostbelts can be basically termed as innocents. And you, as, the Soul Master from proper human history, are going around destroying and eradicating all these innocent lives so you may restore proper human history. While to you, that might seem... Well, actually, no. You actually, believe it or not, no. I think this is actually a common point. You do not think this is the right thing to do, but is what you have to do.
Yeah.
So...
It is the thing we must do. We must either... Like, our literal only two options are roll over and die or do this. And, well, one, rolling over and dying would make a shitty story, but also it's just not in our nature.
No, so... Yes, but... We are...
Well, there is some... We're going to talk later, X. There's a lot of 4D chess going on as well.
Oh, yeah. Like, again, like... Now that, like, I've actually got some Odaime time, I'm all like, I think I'm starting to understand something. But... Like, again, good and evil, like, again, this is one of those things I try to stress to people. Like, good and evil are not technically absolutes. Technically.
It's a matter of perspective.
It's a matter of perspective. Like, this is one of the things I, like, is really interesting about the Lostbelt is, like, all throughout this, like, we're, like, seeing, normal-ass people living their normal-ass future techno-Greco fucking life. It's wild, man. It's wild. And, upon learning of the Chaldeans, and love the Chaldeans, they call us evil, they call us demons, they fight to protect their homes and their families. And that fucking hurts. It really does.
Yeah, there's a scene where they talk about the crowd is cheering for us to lose, and it's like,
yeah.
Ow. It's bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I do think we're not in a situation where we're fighting for good, we're fighting for our right to live.
Yes. We have been, our version of humanity, of Earth, has been kilt, so we must fight back to unkilt it, because that's what we're here for. Hey, I mean, we signed the contract, we're the Chaldea Security Organization. We are time cops, this is technically our job.
I want to get that fat paycheck, I gotta do it.
Yeah, if the alien god decided to actually buy us out and not just, eat us, this would be different, but no, they broke my shit. They broke my shit and they punched my Da Vinci. Things are not okay.
No.
Don't worry, Rasputin. I got a long list. You're in my little black book. It's gonna be like the end of the lovers fight in JoJo Part 3. I'm gonna punch him out and hand him a piece of paper that says his receipt.
No.
I mean, there's the alien god thing. There's some stuff going on, but also there's lots of layers. We're not even heavy in there. Because we're not all the way done with this story chapter, so we got a lot to unpack. This chapter is very dense. They're like, you guys can feel it, just even though we're not all the way in, but you can feel that this is meant to be a major, like, climaxing point. Well, yeah, if you want to talk utility, but that's a question for me talking about triangle strategy.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, literally has an axis of morality, utility, liberty. It's very interesting. Hey, I didn't get all my hazard pay.
I know, it's true.
Well, we'll see if we lose another year if we go back in time. But no, yes, this is the plot is clearly ramping up in Lostbelt 5 Part 2 to hit the levels where we actually, like, get our deeper cut of what's going on. It's weird. I feel like this one draws parallels to, like, London a lot, because London's where we figured out who our true enemy was and all that stuff. They're deliberately doing character parallels. But this is the 5th Lostbelt, which would be America. Though there's a few of those as well.
I'm about to say, like, now I'm looking about, a lot of the GDA seems to be comprised of America and London characters.
It's interesting where we draw the parallels. I would argue the level of getting our asses obliterated is a little bit more like a Camelot or Babylonia, though. Just like, you will not win. Okay, fuck.
Alright, but we only got a few left here, so...
Yeah.
We only got 3 left, so let's keep going. So, this next one comes from Still Sleep Asuna, searching for sustenance. Hey, Loki Mecha, what book would you recommend to Medusa if she asked you? Sorry for the dumb question. May the wiggle bless your rolls. Gow. I don't know if I can recommend anything, but right now I think I would recommend this young adult novel I am reading called, what's it called? How do you pronounce it? I got it as an audiobook. Hang on. the skull.
I mean, I would recommend the Locked Tomb series. I think Medusa would find it funny.
Oh yeah, no. Oh, here it is. It's called A Deadly Education, a Naomi Novik fan. It's part of the Scholomance series. It's basically, I've heard described as what happens if you combined Harry Potter plus Prometheus Rising plus Harry Dresden. Basically, you have an edgy angst, not edgy, an angry teenager who is prophesied to become a dark witch calamity in a school that tries to kill her constantly.
Yeah, the actual like medieval folklore of the Scholomance is very interesting. It's a magic academy buried somewhere in like Transylvania, run by the devil. I think Bram Stoker says Dracula went there. It's an actual like folkloric thing that's very weird.
It's very weird, but it's a little hilarious. The girl is like everyone has something called affinity, and the main character affinity is spells of mass destruction and, being an evil villain. So she's just constantly mad and tries to hate everything, but she's trying to resist her nature, but it's not the best. She just snaps at everyone and it's completely sarcastic. It's kind of funny. It's a little tiresome, but kind of funny.
Maybe I'll check it out, but I'm way behind on my reading. I got a couple of L5R books to chew through.
Actually, I found out that the Daidoji Shin audiobook books are on audiobooks. I'm like,
Yeah, I retweeted one of those. Aconite Publishing is the imprint is going apeshit. Mostly they're publishing video game novels right now, but there's a few like Arkham Horror tie-ins, and I'm just waiting for them to talk about. What was it? Is it Flower Blooms, Death Blooms? I could look it up, but I'm waiting for the next one. Death Blossom, yeah, because we gotta something like that.
I don't know why I remember that. I think I just saw it somewhere, but no, like I saw that
they just talked about like I think they talked about what the plot was.
Yeah.
Daidoji Shin's theater house opens. He has a new acting company, and the lead actress dies. Mystery!
Damn it!
He's never gonna make his return to this fucking theater house. We'll go to book 4. We're just gonna be like, the theater is cursed. Get me a young priest and an old priest. There you go. There's your reading recommendations for today.
Mm-hmm. But yes, I would also heartily recommend the Locked Tomb trilogy, or excuse me, series. What do you call a fucking 4-set?
I've heard both quadrilogy and tetralogy.
I think I like tetralogy better. I think
you usually stop using special words when you get to 4, but sometimes people are like, the Herbal Durble Quintet, and I'm just like, stop, cease. Usually when
I get to 4 books, I say series. I think
most people do.
Yeah, but the Locked Tomb series, again, I am constantly checking Audible to see when those pre-orders come up for Nona the 9th. I am there.
We know what's up. Sadly, I cannot listen to Audible and also listen to FGO on my phone.
Again, this is the problem I have so much. I was trying to do that. I was trying to do that earlier. I was just like, nope. Let me go back 2 minutes.
Especially because there's some fucking jams.
Oh, yeah. And cutscenes. Jesus. So nice they have to do it twice. And then thrice.
A lot of cutscenes. There's 2 left. Let's go.
Let's go. Alrighty. So thank you very much.
By the way, Lucky, the raw mission timer is 1:30.
Oof.
Are you prepared?
No, they're not. Anyway, this next one says, good afternoon, morning, evening. Why did you mix those up? Do you, like, I don't know. It's just me, but I would say good morning, afternoon, or evening. Why you put afternoon first?
I don't know why you would do. Maybe it was afternoon when they wrote this, and they just don't want to be thorough. It's weird, though.
I have questions. What is your favorite aircraft evidence that lists the effects increased bomb points gained by 50%?
Heroic Spirit Portrait Altera, because that's the one I actually use.
Heroic Spirit Portrait Mesh, because that's the one I use.
Thumbs up.
Hey. Alright, so this next one comes from Ratelta. Question, howdy, Lucky Meg. It's been a minute since I could write down due to computer problems. Been liking views through my phone, though. Thank you for that. Are there any Greek villains you guys want to see? Personally, I would like Arachne. I have liked her since playing Smite, and I feel like she'd be a cool low star caster. Plus, monster girls are cool. Wasn't Arachne more of a tragic figure?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the version. Like, as always, Ovid's version is more like, oh, what cruel, fickle gods! Authority figures! I feel like the longer and longer, the more I live my life, the more I get fed up with Ovid. But anyway, the actual original Greek tellings lean a little bit more in the hubris angle. Like, she's out there yelling about how she's better than Athena, and even Athena visits her as an old lady and is like, "Are you sure you want to say that, honey?" And she's like, "Why, yes, I do." And then she just whips off her old lady cloak and is like, very well.
Bitch.
And certain depictions of what Arachne's subject matter is are bold, tasteless. But no, it's definitely like it's one of those like how this thing came about legends. It's not full blown a tragedy, but it's also not like an antagonistic relationship. It's like, hey, mommy, why do spiders weave? Well, you see, little Greek Timmy, little Timaeus. Yeah. Spiders come from Arachne, who was sassy to Athena and was so defeated she decided to literally kill herself. But Athena was like, "No, you spider now.
Make web forever.
You can weave, but don't bother me again. And if you write something about some pig, I will find you." Athena just puts on her hater blocker shades and is just like, and don't ever depict me again, or my license rights lawyers will come after you.
I can totally see Athena being some high profile like company CEO so easily. It's so good.
Athens.
Villains though.
Subsidiary of
Usually,
Olympus.
honestly,
it really depends. Like, I think at this point we could say Theseus would count, right? Because like on the one hand he's supposed to be like the founder of Athens, but also he's a huge dickhead. He leaves Ariadne on the beach. He kidnapped Helen of Troy when she was like 6. By the way, Castor and Pollux did not appreciate this, so while he was busy locked in the underworld, they went to his homeland of Attica, kidnapped his mom, and installed his rival as king of Athens. Just to say, fuck you.
If wasn't Castor and Pollux related to him, related to Helen in some way?
Yeah, no, Helen's their sister.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Okay.
That's by the way, you mentioned Lita before. That is Lita.
Yeah.
Swan. She in some myths she laid 2 eggs. One set of eggs was Castor and Pollux. The other egg was Helen and her sister Clytemnestra, wife of Menelaus. Not Menelaus. Menelaus was Helen's husband. Agamemnon.
Listen, I do not have a fucking head for Greek.
I literally just wrote this one, so I remember. If you're Yeah, no, they I don't know if it was before Achilles died, but they were pre-dead in the war. In Homer's Iliad, Helen stands on the walls and it's like, "Hey, I don't see my Castor and Pollux out there." And Homer, as the narrator opines, they are already dead at this point. Because of revenge. It's a great story. You should listen to The Wanted. But the short version is also it's actually their fault the entire Trojan War because they bailed on Helen and left her alone with Paris of Troy so they could go steal back some cattle from their cousins who were also twins because they wronged them, but also because they stole their girlfriends. It's what I'm saying is that Castor being an Avenger is actually natural. The twins do a lot of stupid shit for revenge. I mean, it is Paris' fault and also Aphrodite's fault, but like the kidnapping would not have been as easy. No, not right now. That's not relevant. We can talk about that at a different time. But like antagonists, I mean, arguably Paris is already an antagonist because the whole Trojan
again.
side.
Like I'm trying to think.
We got Hector. I mean, we've got a few like obstacles, but mostly, honestly, here's the problem. It's like with a lot of Arthur's mythology. Other than Morgan, if you want actual villains, most of the bad dudes in Greek mythology are kings who are already like old dudes who are in power, right?
All their villains are usually some sort of monster.
Yeah, it's either a mythological monster, which, hey, we're okay with. Give me Scylla.
I mean, give me. Well, actually, the thing is, like, I finally realized that Scylla is technically with Kirky because she pours out her extra talent is she pours out the poison gauntlet and Scylla comes up and bites whatever his fucking legs out.
I mean, that doesn't necessarily stop.
I know, but still.
But it's a very good reference. Deep cut.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until I did more research on Kirky.
There's I should actually do that fan servant profile. There's a Queen of the Harpies mentioned in the Aeneid by name.
Oh, that's sick. I mean, I'm like
she delivers a prophecy to Aeneas that the Trojans will not be able to stop until they eat their tables, and then they eat some flatbread. And one of the sailors is like, "Hey, yo, this is like eating a table."
Oh no!
And they're like, "Oh shit, we're here." And then the story goes on for like 2 more chapters, and then it ends suddenly, possibly because Virgil died.
Probably. I mean, I guess if we're having one, I'd probably say fucking Echidna, monster. Lucky. He's a big fan of the monster mothers.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, like I said, a lot of the antagonists are already like dude who is in charge of your kingdom who you don't like. Though it is interesting. Aphrodite drops a reference of a Laocoon painted wolf, so like,
yep, maybe Laocoon one day.
We've name dropped him like twice, and we already have werewolves in the game.
Oh, sorry. This person had more.
Yeah, I got some more.
Yeah. Comment. I'm happy I can write to them again. It's a hard part of my week. Hopefully, I've not angered the male gods enough to eat my question like it's a dirty sock. Unrelated to anything, Jean-Francois Pellisson de Rousseau would be a cool. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but I just wung it. Would be a cool writer if they are the first people to write in a hot air balloon. One of the first ways humans can fly. Have a radical week, my dude.
Jean-Francois Pilastre de Rosier.
De Rosier.
Yeah, you don't say the R in French. I think that's it.
Oh, okay.
Why they still insist on writing the R, I don't know, but it's a phonetics thing. But yes, Balloon Man.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, I still want Count von Zeppelin. Because, airships are cool. And also, they keep naming airships after him. So.
I mean, Zeppelin is Zeppelin, yo.
Count von Zeppelin.
But that is Mailbag. I'm closing this.
Hey. I'll close that tag too. Let's take an intermission. It's been an hour and 40 minutes.
All right, we'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Resume the game. Okay, this is the big one. I do want to throw out there. So Fanservant Friday. Technically, this is our last show in this month because the next one's on April 1st. For Raisins, I kind of want to push it because that'll involve us talking about some. Because it's Aeneas, funnily enough. That will involve us talking about some mythological things, which may come up again anyway later in Olympus. So I wanna push that off, so we don't have to get into some things and thoughts with some people. So there you go. We can just do that in the live stream when we don't give a shit, and we just do everything. So then it's time for free talk. Olympus first impressions, and what an impression it made on us, right into the ground. He yeeted me right to the floor.
Yeah.
This is your first stop. Spoiler warning. If you haven't started yet and you care, cease.
Assist.
You can pause the video and come back later.
To help people, keep track of where we are and stuff. We did write. I want to say somewhat meticulous notes. We didn't write necessarily full on details, but we did write basically every one of our immediate thoughts and impressions we got from things.
Yeah, this is like the note-taking equivalent, though I did go back and like revise some of my points and add stuff later. But for the most part, this is the note-taking equivalent of just stream of consciousness.
Yes.
The Lostbelt is a college lecture, and we are taking notes in the back. So here we are. Starting at Section 1, Interstellar Mountainous City, Olympus. They showed parts of this on stream, though they edited it down a little bit.
Yeah. So this basically just opens up almost I forget. Does it open up with all the gods talking, and then we go to...
No, our first beat is somebody yells about the stars.
Ah, yes.
It happens a lot with these sections. And then we smash cut to us gliding down, and we're like, oh, look, it's so shiny. And then we get signal.
Yeah. By the way, this is our first point. This one simply states, someone speaking in center-aligned text is more scary than one would think. Followed up with, Zeus gets twice the font size as a normal character.
Yeah, Zeus speaking in center-aligned text, double-spaced font, where he takes up the whole... You know how normally FGO is a two-line text bar? He takes up the whole bar. And it's just like... It's impressive. It does the thing you want, where you're just like, what the fuck is happening? He also has a great theme, heavy on the brass section and some deep strings.
Very final boss.
Just like, my name is Zeus, and you're just like, oh.
Shit!
Oh shit, we're in the sky.
Lightning, very, very frightening.
Galileo
was just like, fuck that shit, I'm out.
Galileo Figaro, Magnifico. That's all you're gonna get of Bohemian Rhapsody today. I don't have 6 minutes to do the whole thing. But yeah, no, then we realize we have a problem. We are in the sky. And we're basically like, director, remind me again what Zeus is the god of? Sky. It's sky. He's the sky guy. So yeah, he hucked some thunderbolts at us. Along came Zeus. He heard those thunderbolts. Blah blah blah. The memes. We gotta go down.
Oh boy, how did we go down?
We do learn an interesting fact about the storm border after we settle down in a nice nature park. I think it gets called the Frontier Zone later. I'm not entirely sure what it's doing here, but it's nice. And nobody's here.
It's very good.
So we do learn an interesting fact about the Storm Border, how it's really impressive, but it can only exist with Lostbelt technology and to protect pan-human history. It would not function in our normal timeline, because it's based off of...
it's based off nanomachines, fucking tech gotten from a weird servant combination that only exists because we're in this Lostbelt timeline.
Yeah.
And
it was based off of Nemo's Nautilus, the Aronnax Phantasm, right? So, like, it's already based on something that was an anachronism, and then it goes from there. So it's pretty good. But we've crash landed, as usual. You know, we glided down. We have to hide. You know, everybody gets a cold start. Zeus's Thunderbolts are anti-servants, so the captain and Da Vinci have to take a nap. This is where that goes in my receipt. To Zeus, you have hurt my Da Vinci. Now you must die. But this gives us a reason why they aren't gonna like be actively aiding us, and we have to leave our super cool boat for once.
We just got the damn thing.
Yeah, I know. We didn't. At least this time we didn't get blown the fuck up, right? We just had to make a hard landing. So we go. Out.
This is 2 for 2. Our boat gets taken out immediately.
Yeah, 2 OP. Sherlock whispers something to Goldorf that he doesn't like, but he agrees to it, and so we set out on an adventure with our disguises. Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom, and then this is where we get our full-blown meeting of the gods and also some cryptor stuff.
Yeah.
So you see Europa, Priestess Europa, a revelation is coming, you know, all that stuff. Zeus, Aphrodite, and Demeter are all in shadow, let you know it's them talking.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a little conversation about stuff. Basically just, you know, setting stakes, giving us a general look at everybody's, you know, dispositions and stuff. And also we get to see Wodaime. He's just, like, chilling. Kadok is here, and he's concerned that Wodaime doesn't seem to give a single fuck about what he's doing.
This comes back later, as like I said, I'm starting to put some shit together.
Yeah. It's not completely revealed here, but you very quickly find out over these first couple of segments that the cryptors who have lived, who have bailed out, basically have free run of the place. Like, at no point does Wodaime, like, ever tell them not to do anything or to fuck off or anything.
I would like to say fuck off to Limbo, though, because Jesus fucking Christ, he continues to be creepy and fucking irritating.
And he has a horrible sense of humor. The shitty priest is very respectful.
Yeah.
But
listen, the shitty priest is a shitty priest, but, you know, I respect his hustle.
I mean, you know, the dude managed to win Gilgamesh over to his side. You know he's got the chops. He knows how to be respectful in time of crisis. Though, I will say, I mean, Limbo's such a fucking lunatic. He does the fucking... He basically does a JoJo thing. He karate chops his own goddamn head off, and he's just like, I hope you'll accept this apology. Schnicked. Haha, I'm very funny. And then we're just like, cut that out. You're not being funny. Stop it. That's weird. It's gross. So, you know, we have a meeting. We set up a lot of the stakes. And as you put in the notes here, we quickly discover we have a 3-way fight. And one of those ways isn't us.
Nay, we are chaos! The uncertain parameter!
Yeah, because Zeus is very upfront that he has his own plans.
Yes.
He's doing his own thing with the tree and the Lostbelt and so on.
He's even renamed it.
Yeah. Which is a very key point. It was originally Magellan, as in Magellanic Clouds, but now is Atlas, after that guy who does hold up the sky.
Yeah.
Then, obviously, the foreign god has its own thing, where once a tree fully blooms, it will descend, and then it will do something.
Yeah.
Something will happen, which the Olympians are not necessarily 100% in agreement with. And then also, the Cryptors / Team A, whatever, are kind of technically doing their own thing?
Not entirely sure. But...
Like, it's very clear early, Wodaime is contractually obligated to the foreign god. There are certain things he cannot say and cannot do. But also, he has a lot of the fucking Airbud rule, right? Ain't no rule that says I can't do that. Like, early on, I don't remember if it was in this section or one of the later ones, but it's fairly early. Pepe comes to him and is just like, hey, so the disciples of the foreign god don't necessarily want the Lostbelt to actually, like, the tree to, like, fully bloom, do they? They just want to see what happens, right? Because my guy was weird. And Wodaime is just like, I can neither confirm or deny that thing you've said. And Pepe's just like, gotcha, bye, ciao.
Pepe continues to be fabulous as always.
Yes. Pepe out! Just blows a kiss and fades away. And the priestess seems to get a little nettled at Wodaime for this, and Wodaime's just like, what? I didn't say anything. He came to his own conclusion. There is no need to eliminate him. Ominous.
Very ominous.
But yeah, we do our usual thing. I've always said I love these scenes.
Oh, yeah. Seeing things from the antagonist or villain's point of view is always great for building perspective.
It builds perspective. It heightens dramatic tension because the audience knows something that the other people don't.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of big things here. So I think, though, we can safely say we can move on. But is it incorrect, Axe? You said
no,
at
I
the start
did.
of the chapter.
Also, I do believe that the Sirius light being from Marsberry was something mentioned earlier, but I can't remember where. So I didn't.
It's
really
very clearly explained here, though, where because Kadok thought that Wodaime would just take his because it turns out they weren't provided by the foreign god for sure. We got hard confirmation of that in no uncertain terms. Though, yes, like I said, I think that came up before. Possibly when Ophelia used hers. Because that's another thing, because Kadok asked Wodaime about this, and Wodaime was very cryptic, and so Kadok put two and two together and says, so it's not that Ophelia used hers, then died. Ophelia used her, so she died.
I thought that was Pepe. I could be wrong.
Oh, did Pepe also somebody said that. There's two conversations, both the other cryptors have these with Wodaime, and they both talk about their serious lights. It was Pepe?
Yeah.
Okay. Because the two of them have this conversation because both of them are concerned that they've only been saved because they have their serious light, and that Wodaime is just going to take them, which he does not.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so they have this back and forth. Yeah, they both try to give him their serious light back, and he's just like, that's not how we operate here. I do not have the ability to take those from you.
I think they said something. I can't remember. I can't remember what it was, but it was something that was very telling. It was what was it that they weren't? It was something about I'm sorry, forgive me, but it was something to the akin of they became cryptors because they have the serious light, not the other way around. Something about the serious light is very serious business.
Yes, and they explained that Marsbury told them only that using it could change the world. It could invert everything. It would make the impossible possible, basically. And then he didn't say anything more than that.
How cryptic. How mage-like.
Yeah. So it is very much the symbol of Team A, but it's the symbol of Team A from when they were Team A of Chaldea, not anything to do with being revived by the foreign god.
Yes.
So Wodaime is basically like, yeah, I don't have the actual I didn't give you those. I don't have the ability to take those back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that might be more clear later. It's definitely obviously because Rasputin grabbed Kadok, there's some value to it. But it's interesting. Ophelia used hers to basically power up her eye so she could restrict Surtur. And then, Python had one, she just didn't use hers.
She didn't care about it.
So all the cryptors have a serious light, and we'll see if any of them get used up. But yeah, so we have a lot of this background stuff. I always love this when this chapters start with this. They have our meetings, they play the theme, we go through all the things. But then we go to Section 2, Olympus's Reception, first half. Many of these story elements are parted. And we get so we go into town in disguise, we say that we're just in from the country, blah, blah, blah. For some reason, despite the fact that, as we find out later, a lot of these guys are fucking old. They all believe this. Complacency has made them naive.
Yeah.
But we get some important geography lessons here. So, the crystal mountain we've seen in the giant display is the Kronos crown, the symbol of their authority, obviously taken from Kronos, the Titan. And the Castle of the Gods, the shrine we've seen before, is called Olympia Dodona. And I did some research. This is the same name of a famous site of an oracle of Zeus, possibly the oldest Greek oracle, and second in fame only to the oracle at Delphi, which was associated with Apollo. So Olympia Dodona makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
We also get a history lesson in the Four Machia.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very important part of the timeline. They explain that there was the Titanomachia and the Gigantomachia we expected. There was also the battle with the White Titan, which is given a name later.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, the Olympiamachia, which was a civil war between the gods.
Yeah, it's at this point that you can first believe that something has gone awry in this Lostbelt.
Yeah, so I put this down in a note. Everything in Olympus has a very hyper-modern sci-fi, like Crystal Spires and Togas vibe. A very classic sci-fi aesthetic.
Oh, yeah.
But also, as is usual with Lostbelts, you get a certain sense of wrongness. Like, everybody has, like, super cheery utopian vibes, praise Zeus, but they're also just kind of, like, vibing, man. Like, they just kind of exist.
Mm-hmm. Now, aside from the actual fanatical worship, there are signs of art, culture, education, and political philosophy among the people, and the complete lack of labor and conflict, which, under the most literal and strictest terms, is as near as one possibly could get to perfection society.
Yes. People do not have jobs. There is no economy of labor. There is no need for monetary economy. They have homes. We see later these homes are quite swanky, so everybody is provided for housing. All their needs of food and stuff are met. And there is apparently high culture, art, and education and studying, and a lot of, a lot of just, like, general stuff going on. Like, one lady we run into talks about how she studies at an art academy nearby.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And in my notes I put down, presumably similar to LB3, this is why this world would be pruned, because if it is, as it seems anyway, it's functionally complete under Zeus the Demiurge, there is no need for change or advancement, and all people are content as things are, or so it seems anyway.
Yes, because while they all are happy, content, and don't necessarily seem oppressed in the same way as, they're not going anywhere.
No, they have no desires, no dreams, they just exist. A recurring theme that comes up over and over again as we go through the chapter is just every day is exactly the same as the previous one.
Yes.
Which I can understand why the great time tree, when trying to compress information, would just be like, oh, this universe is just going to repeat the same thing literally over and over again for all of infinity. Snip. Don't need that energy.
Yeah, but...
Unfortunately, Zeus rains on our exposition parade and just fucking dials up the PA system and is like, hello, Chaldea is among you. You will know them by the red marks on their left hand. And then everybody just freaks the fuck out.
Also... interesting enough, apparently there is some dissemination of information, because these people know they are in the Lostbelt, and as soon as they mention Chaldean, they're all like, oh shit, it's those guys.
Yes. Apparently it came up somewhere in this wonderful public information system that they are a Lostbelt. They are maintained by the tree. They know to call it by the name Atlas. And, that there will be people trying to stop them. So, it seems like, well, this is brought up, like, they talked about how this was the exact opposite of Lostbelt 3's tree, for instance. Zeus is operating with complete knowledge of the tree, the plan, and everything, and this has disseminated down to the citizens. They understand that they are basically in a time-space war. But yeah, and my notes I put down because some people immediately gumption up and like, hey, I can't let you get away. I was like, holy shit, did Foe just take down a lady?
I'm pretty sure he gave her the fluff ball.
Yeah.
I think he has been soaking up magical energy and regaining strength. Like, Foe's very talkative.
Very chatty this chapter, yeah.
Yeah.
And this was a note earlier. They talked about how the mana density here is just as high as Babylonia during the Age of Gods.
Well, yeah.
Oh, we'll get there, Robin. It's in my notes. But yeah, so immediately everything's gone to shit. Fuck, we gotta run away. Run away!
But nay, we cannot run away, because a reserve god is all like, I will not let you take my homes and my family and my friends. And fucking henshins into fucking god armor. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And it's only one dude, but there's something quite bothersome to me about this fight. Because usually when you start off a Lostbelt, usually it's some sort of monster, some, dedicated military force, something clearly antagonistic. That, you're like, that's an obstacle I have to get out of my way. But here, no. We have a citizen of this city who thinks nothing more that he is protecting his homes and family, and just all like, oh god, why do I gotta do this? And it sets a mood for... It sets the mood for a lot of this.
And he talks about how, he hasn't been in a fight in a long time. Literally, he's a reservist. And it comes out that he's just as strong as a heroic spirit. It's fucking horseshit.
It's fucking horseshit.
That's okay. Don't worry. She has a whole speech that I don't remember, but Musashi appears and just beats this guy up. I appreciate there is some moments, cause like this guy like gives us some sass, and Musashi is just like snicked, takes his throat out. But then we have to run away some more. And I put in my notes, never skip leg day. What did they say? I think Mash said it was the equivalent of a 1,500-meter dash.
Yeah.
Yes, Musashi says that he has the strength and quality of gear and even like raw training over her as a heroic spirit, but he has no combat experience, which makes sense. He's a reservist. He hasn't fought anybody in God knows how long. Since the Olympia Machia, presumably.
Yeah, there's a difference between fighting in a dojo and fighting in the streets.
Yeah. But yeah, never skip leg day. Once again, we're fast. Sprint everywhere. But yeah, after that initial business, we move on to Section 3, Olympus Reception, second half. You guys can know these notes are a lot shorter because it's just boss fights.
It is. And we're going to start this off with bronze giants are bullshits. Bullshit. But even they can't stop from being charm locked by Kama.
Yeah. For the big one, I took out, the like 800K. I busted out something I haven't done in a while. Hey guys, know what's bigger than Talos? Hate. You can't buff yourself if you're covered in hatred. But yeah, this is just straight up 3 boss fights with Talos. I love, by the way, that Talos is so huge. They have to have like his legs in a portal so he can fucking fit. Oh, enormous.
I mean, when you see a CG, he's literally like standing over some buildings using them as hand rests.
Yeah.
I'm like, excuse me, sir, you're causing property damage. And he's all like, I do not care. I am robot. Die.
So this is the stuff we alluded to earlier. Like, you go through the whole fight, the dude just won't stop. Musashi cuts off his arm, and she cuts off his head. Still, that doesn't stop him because we figure out he's got the Demeter Clearolumia, the Demeter legacy. Yet nobody ever thinks about just unplugging him. But then we are met with the true opposition. The Dioscuri show up, Demeter shows up, Aphrodite shows up. Everybody's here.
Yeah, so finally they've been unsilhouetted, so we can actually see their full designs. And I do have to say, now that I've actually had a chance to see it better, I actually really do like Aphrodite's design. Mm-hmm. Same for Demeter. Like, I'm not sure who did Demeter's design, but I'm pretty sure it was Wada Arca who did.
Wada Arca did Aphrodite.
Yeah, Aphrodite. I love the little touch.
Demeter's artist, let us know. I know some people were really agitated when this came out that Aphrodite is holding a cigarette. Those people are tiny baby children who have watched too many of unskippable ads from anti-smoking. Now that you should smoke, but you're on the opposite end of the culture war, which is that there have been many times in the past where smoking was considered cool or sexy. There is the reason why there's a trope about smoking after sex.
Honestly, like, that's the one thing I want to allude to is, like, I'm pretty sure Aphrodite, like, the theme I get from Aphrodite is the experienced, mature woman. She's someone who knows what the hell she's doing and ain't afraid to go about it. That's the impression I get. And
yeah, we're going to talk about her characterization later because we start to get into that by the time we get to Section 9. But it's definitely a thing where Aphrodite feels very, like, jaded, mature, obviously very self-assured. She is the goddess of beauty. Mm.
And so...
Still,
yeah, so I think it really works.
And we talked about that. Everybody's got multiple sprites.
Yeah. Also, with Demeter, she is as bountiful as the field she watches over.
Yeah.
Boy, howdy.
No, I mean, they really went for the mother goddess thing. They know what's up with them.
They know what's up.
So then we get into a fight with Talos and Dioscuri. This is where I had to pop seals.
This was bullshit indeed.
Yeah, because Dioscuri's NP is in fact hacks. Fucking free Pierce Invul.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have damage cut on my mash. Free damage cuts. How dare.
How?
But also, Caster really needs to calm down. Jeez. Like, he's just like, how dare you prevent me from murdering humans? How very dare? You dare? You speak? And Pollux just has to be like, brother, calm the fuck down. Roll it back, pint size. Yeah, very much. Like, absolute baby rage. Like, it's, yeah. But we get bailed out in the end. Also, by the way, Aphrodite is also fucking bullshit because she slurps your NP. How dare she? Makes you go down 20%. Hacks.
Was it good for you? So
20% suck. But we get bailed out. There's a guy who looks like he's a Kingdom Hearts extra.
I'm really glad I am not the only one. I'm starting to worry that anytime I see anyone in a black robe with a hood up, I'm just gonna immediately think Kingdom Hearts.
No, I've been an NA spoiler off and on, trying not to self spoil, but to post my own screenshots and stuff. But yes, everybody who sees that is like, yes, it's very obvious. We're also assisted by some mysterious people.
Some people. They have a mechanical owl named Minerva. Huh. You can't see it on here, but on our show notes, on the
hung a hyperlink.
I put a hyperlink. Let me share this with you guys, because I don't know if this is actually a ref, but I find it quite suspect. That's not a link, you asshole. What the fuck is that? I'm incensed. Thank you.
It's an owl. It's mechanical.
That mechanical cow, which was sent by Athena. Mm-hmm. So Minerva, the romanization of Athena as a mechanical owl.
Bobo. But yeah, no, and the design even looks a little bit like it. It's very funny. We're referencing,
it's very
of
funny.
course, by the way, Clash of the Titans, classic film.
Yes.
So we get taken to an underground base and everything. We do get to see, by the way, how bullshit Aphrodite is a little bit, because she does mind hack us. Mm-hmm. She's just bow your heads.
Ow. I'm not actually sure if you bow your head, because, well, everyone else seems to be freaking out. You seem to be okay.
I mean, you do a blinky and you kind of slump, so, I don't know if you actually bowed so much as, you just, drop to a knee on the ground and have to take a breather.
Take a knee.
Yeah. Actually, and also, it's not in our notes because we forgot about it, but Sherlock is tailing us. That's what he talked with Goldorf about, is he was hiding in spirit form. He comes to bail us out the first time with that guy and punch him so he doesn't kill us. But he would have lost an arm again if Musashi hadn't stepped in. We also learned that Sherlock Holmes' spirit core is still damaged from Lostbelt 2. There's a lot of spirit core damage going on in this chapter. So he needs a rest too. So we get taken to an underground base. We're told it's safe. Zeus, the god of the sky, cannot observe under the ground. And we discover that there is a God Destroyer alliance. And that is our buddies who made it to Olympus ahead of us. And they left us a recording.
God.
And in this recording, I'm fairly certain Helena somehow convinced these guys to be extra. All 5 servants we see right now are already extra, but, they're extra.
They have to, shout their purpose to the world.
Yeah. If fucking, Ginyu Force bit or something.
You can
imagine the poses.
I'm about to say, after they say it, they'd all do a pose and fucking multicolored fireworks will go on behind them.
Yes.
As, Gold Destroyer Alliance just flashes on the screen.
Yeah, it's absolutely some Sentai shit.
Yeah, it is. That's probably what the feeling they were trying to evoke, honestly, now that I think about it.
Yeah. I mean, those are usually urban and do involve fighting giant monsters. It could be some tokusatsu stuff.
Yeah.
So that wraps up Olympus Reception, and we go to Section 4. Thou art the harvest that reaps the stars. 1. We will be here for a while.
So we open up with a opening narration. It does not give a name, and it does not necessarily talk who, but it talks about, love. Mm-hmm. And all that crazy stuff. And then we switch to the Hanging Gardens, which seems to be a lovely, lovely green space somewhere in the shrine.
Yeah.
Where Europa is going over to, I believe it was Pepe, to, ask about the Chaldeans. But before Pepe can go anywhere, Demeter shows up, and she seems to have a touch of what I'm going to call the Mother Madness, which, to be fair, is kind of expected if you, know anything about Demeter's biggest myth, I want to say.
Yeah.
But also, maybe a soft confirmation that Persephone is a servant.
Yeah, she talks about the nature of being recorded in the Throne of Heroes and the result, and she does talk about how cruel it is, and then specifically name checks Persephone. And we're just like, She also has a comment about the ocean. I am certain the sea was also a mother. Slight how dare.
I'm not sure what you meant by how dare.
I can only assume she's talking about Tiamat, who is a mother goddess of the saltwater, and I'm just like,
Well, like I said, there is some of that Mesopotamian drift in Greco.
Well, that's why I was just like, I read that line, and I was just like,
That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
So we're going to pan quickly to Europa, who is definitely noted to have been fused with Hera earlier, but is now further noted to be actually the Europa from proper human history. Yeah. In that Hera herself was grievously wounded through the Olympiomachia, the Fourth Great War. But Zeus was like, oh no, my wife! Oh no, my lover! And just, said, fuse them! It's like, ta-da!
Yeah. Also gives us some vibes that definitely some of our... This Lostbelt is very old, but also, like, it definitely gives you the vibes that, like, there's some elements of its Lostbeltiness that have existed for a long time. Later it is clarified that the point of drift was 14,000 years ago, right? So, yeah, there's a lot of history here. So yeah, there's a lot of our back and forth. We tune into Europa and Demeter and Pepe and all that stuff. And then we smash cut to home base. Thanks to Zeus's powers, nobody can talk. Comms are down, but there's some stuff.
Sorry, I was just thinking ruler of the airways Zeus, and I'm just all like DJ Zeus.
Oh,
just fucking 70, what is this, Lostbelt 5? 105.5, the Zeus.
I mean, it was, Hesiod did explicitly talk about, Zeus's, 7 wives, one of which was, his 5th wife, according to Hesiod, was the Titan, Mnemosyne, Memory.
Oh.
And that was with whom he had the 9 muses. So, Zeus is the father of the arts, so I could totally see that guy. I mean, he has complete control over the comm system. I could totally see him just being on the airwaves and just like, hello.
Clearly that's what he does when he's not like maintaining all the other system. He just maintains a radio show where he talks about how great he is. Oh god, that's great. I love it.
Yeah. Zeus is responsible for a lot of important things. We're going to keep coming back to this, but literally they talk about how his first wife was Metis. That was whom Athena was with, so Athena's the oldest of all those. Because if Metis bore him a son, it would have been Prophesis. Next was he married the Titaness Themis, and that was the mother of the seasons, Hore, and the Moirai, the Fates. Then it was the Oceanid Euronome, which was the 3 charities, the Graces. Then it was Demeter, and thus Persephone. Then it was Mnemosyne, the Muses. The 6th was Leto, which was Apollo and Artemis. And then lastly was Hera. And then that was, at least in this canonicity, Aphrodite literally says that Zeus is her father. So that would be Aphrodite, Hephaestus, Ares, etc. Part of this can explain why Athena is so important. She is literally the biggest sister.
Mm-hmm. Big Oneson vibes.
But yeah, so Zeus is the origin of a lot of very important things that make the universe function. But yeah, so this first bit of this is all set up in our exposition of our characters and stuff.
Yeah.
We even get that exposition we talked about back at the storm border.
Mm-hmm. But back at the storm border, basically, we have picked up something on Sensas.
Yeah.
There seems to be a magical rating of something quite beat up in Grievous Wind that has been drifting through the quote-unquote ocean of Atlantis. I can think of only one person in mind that fits that criteria.
And thus we go to Section 5. Thou art the harvest that reaps the stars. 2.
Everyone is dead, Dave. Also, why are we using budget for injured Helena sprites? Stop that.
Yeah, we have a horrible nightmare, and then we move on. But we go through the whole thing. Musashi gives us a pep talk, which basically relates to head empty, no thoughts, only void.
Yeah, Mother Musashi. Sometimes you have to remember that Musashi is a complete bottle junkie.
Yeah, like, she even is like, oh, you guys are worried about the morality? No, I was just talking, like, the philosophy of battle. Like, you can't be a coward, Mash. You gotta face your fears, even though these guys are swole. What's that? You're worried about the moral implications? Nah, it's fine.
If you win, your morals are right.
Absolutely how Miyamoto Musashi rolls.
But we get out there, we meet our mysterious benefactors, and why are children always involved?
These guys are at least looking late teens.
Yeah. Apparently they got some history.
Yeah, I think visually, anyway, the twins are supposed to be around the protagonist's age, probably.
They seem it. Maybe a little younger.
Yeah. You also had a great note that I also liked, where we get some nanomachines for Holmes, so he can stop dying.
Yes.
And then we ask, because we were beat up too, how did you give us nanomachines? They're like, fuck no, you'd explode.
Yeah. So again, this wasn't something they actually explained in the Atlantis bit, but thank you for actually explaining that the non-machines literally cannot work with a human for proper human history.
Yeah, we are not on the same level as these Atlantean Olympus humans, and we would die. We would explode.
Yeah. Explode. So
then we get big exposition dump.
Big exposition dump. One of the key points, though, is a little bit of details about the second Machia, which, again, they don't. Again, they seem very. This is very interesting. They seem to skirt around the actual name White Titan or what actually happens. They say, "Oh, we don't know what happened and whatnot."
Yeah, I'm assuming they're probably hiding that so that when the details come out later, it's more impressive for people who have, say, played Extella and know what that Machia was about.
Yeah. But we do get a name for it, and actually, Omega, I'm going to turn to you to look at this because I don't want to necessarily butcher this name.
Yeah, I believe this would be pronounced Leucus Machia.
Leucus.
Yeah, hard C's.
Leucus Machina. Which, what they say that, like I said, the main thing they don't know what half the details is where the divergence happened.
And by the way, Leucus is literally Greek for white.
Ah.
But also, apparently, by the way, was the name of the son of the bronze giant Talos. Don't ask me how that works.
Well, I guess it can mean both white and giant.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
So they don't explain it at this moment, but I'll give you people a little refresher about this. But it was at this moment, because they don't explain it at this moment, but this was one of the events that led to basically the ending of the Age of Gods. Because, again, Safar, comets, all that stuff landing on Earth. White Titan literally tore through gods like they were butter until a foolish samurai warrior wielding a magic sword stepped forth to oppose them.
Yeah.
So
basically, in pan-human history, the giant machine gods could not defeat the White Titan, so mankind had to step in, and Gaia invented Excalibur, basically. Or rather, we should say probably the sword of the promised victory, the breath of the planet.
Yeah.
It would not be called Excalibur yet, but it was that. Which has led to many, many caveman Artoria jokes.
So they go on to explain how this affected the Gigantomachia, and which in turn led to a new war called the Olympia Machina. So on one side we have Zeus, Demeter, Aphrodite, Ares, and Artemis who wanted to rule over humans, and then we have Athena, Hades, Poseidon, Apollo, Hestia, Ares, and Hephaestus wanting to coexist with humans. Also, what that means, it basically, this does confirm that in this pantheon, Hestia was the 13th god instead of Dionysus. So,
which makes sense because Dionysus is a demigod who is deified later. He's, in the mythology anyway, he is known codifiedly as a son of Zeus who later ascends to Olympus. So that would not track with this version of the history, right?
By the way, Axe, we only have one image of that. It was just a giant beam of light.
Yeah, we only see the beam part. We don't need... Safar doesn't even know what the fuck hit her, just like sword beam. So yeah, I don't know. It is called a sword, I believe, so it would probably be blade-like, but maybe it looks like these Olympus soldier guys like weird railgun swords. They're like split.
I don't have the best image of it, but let me see if I can pull it up here.
It's one of our thumbnails. Yeah, there you go. That also is the image. Yeah, blarg.
It's not the best image, but
also, this is noted later, but is a good time to come back to. They do note, if you're wondering why there's not symmetry here, apparently Poseidon originally sided with the ruling faction, but he defected to the coexistence faction, which is probably why there's an imbalance of numbers. So yeah, this kind of explains the Olympia Machia. That's, by the way, why we found all these busted up gods back in the islands of Olympus and all those exiles. That was from that war. So all that stuff, goes down there. And then we get some more, we get our AI buddy, our AIs to simulate the people who are totally dead now, and walk us through some even more exposition.
Yeah. So I'm not entirely sure where we go next with the conversation, but I'm just going to read my next point here, which is just, Jesus fucking Christ, Daime. Because apparently, Daime, walk softly, carry a big stick, motherfucking Daime, killed the original Dioscuri. The original Dioscuri downgraded them to a divine spirit and then made a servant contract with them.
Yeah, so this clarifies some of the order of things. The Olympian gods are real-ass gods. They are not divine spirits who've returned to the land. They've never been downgraded because they still have their original bodies, which gives them their divine powers and whatnot.
And they're not divided either.
Yes, and they're not divided spirits as well. So, the original Dioscuri and the Lostbelt were straight-up divinities, I assume they were probably humanoid because it was mentioned in the Olympiomachia that the other gods had lots of lesser gods as followers who they all, gathered up. So there would be like subterminals or whatever.
Yeah.
But Wodaime defeated them, which downgraded them to a divine spirit and then made a contract with them, which, by the way, is not how that's supposed to work.
Like, well, Daime, what are you doing? This is a return
Hacking.
of whoa, Daime.
Yeah, hacking. And this is part of why we are your next note about talking about the power level differences, because we basically get this dumped on us all at once, and we're just like, okay.
And the twins, who are named here, I cannot remember their names. I should have wrote them down.
Makarios and Adele, or possibly
Thank
Adelie, because she's Greek.
Mhm.
Well, Atlantean, but you know what I mean. It's spelled like Adele.
Are just like, aren't you phased by this? And we're just all like, I think Mash says this like, oh, we're just used to this by now. I'm just like, yeah, no.
Yeah, we treat it as not like, oh my god, woe is me kind of shit, but just like, fuck, we gotta deal with that. God damn it. What am I
Give
gonna
me
do
more
now?
of that food. It's delicious.
Yes. And I put a note here. Foe has deemed these humans worthy.
Gave them the affection.
Yeah.
It's great. Morpho interactions are grand. But they also the twins start talking about how they've had help with all this, including someone they call the collaborator with capital letters.
Yeah.
And their go-between, who is this hooded man who shows up. By the way, he does not stay hooded for line because la gasp.
I mean, the world's greatest detective Sherlock Holmes is standing right there. And also, world's greatest detective Sherlock Holmes' greatest fangirl, Mash.
This is very true.
So, they bust it wide open. It's Kadok.
It's Kadok, and he's all like, Jesus, how fuck, why? And we get some exposition. But Kadok is trying to figure out what the fuck is going on here. What is Wodaime's game? What the big secret in here? And we actually get a little bit of a flashback of Kadok talking to Wodaime. And here I have a note. Someone is not actually that good at reading between the lines.
This is Kadok's other problem, besides his woeful, crippling self-doubt complex. Because he has what to him seems like a one-sided conversation with Wodaime. But for Wodaime, it's very clearly a multifold conversation full of double meanings. And Kadok is just like, so you're saying I'm a punk-ass bitch, and Wodaime is like, I never said that. You said that.
I like there is a literal moment where Diamond just has ellipses, just like, and I'm just all like, this is the moment where I would just be holding my fucking forehead right now.
I just imagine Wodaime chilling in his chair. He just purses his lips and folds his hands in front of his face, just like, Like, you can tell he wants to do the knife hands and be like, you dense motherfucker. But he can't, because that would blow his cover.
That would blow his cover. Because basically, Daime is trying to impress upon Kadok that Daime has the eye of the foreign god and the disciples on him basically at all times, so he cannot do it. But he, who, has been termed a failure and is not being paid attention to, can go around and do whatever he wants. This is the part where, Daime should lead on is like, do whatever he wants. But Kadok just is all like, oh, so you think I fucking suck, huh? Well, fuck you!
I am gonna go do whatever I want. Bye! And Daime is just like, well, hope he does something good with his time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kadok basically says here, he's not on our side. He's very tsundere about it.
Yes. I'm not here to help you, dumbass.
Mm-hmm. But he does give out assistance and whatnot and tells you that, before this is all over, you gotta meet Wodaime. You have to.
And some of it's just like, and Wodaime even says that earlier, like he wants to meet us himself so he can defeat us again and show us just how senseless this all is. His plan is the bestest because he is the strongestest.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how that works out for him.
But
Spoiler, it's not gonna. There's 2 more Lostbelts.
Who knows? Well, who knows? Like, maybe this fucking master plan will come to fruition. I don't fucking know. But, Kadok, I don't remember. Is this where Kadok basically, like, I'm out, bitches, and becomes untraceable. Like, Musashi and Holmes tried to tail him, and he's like, nah, fam, I'm out.
Yeah, Musashi had a great exposition later about how she got here. She basically futzed with her sliding ability, so she no longer slides, but more like has free spatial movement. The way she describes it, it's like jumping. She just moves from place to place, and Mash says she like jumps through higher dimensions. Even she is impressed because Kadok combines stealth magecraft with rapid movement magecraft. So this is his like wilderness survival shit he's supposed to be good at. He basically turns on magic cloaking and then turns on like magic parkour, and he's just fucking gone.
Fucking gone.
Presumably how he handles getting around the city without people, being mad at him.
Mhm.
Because it's next in your notes. There's definitely a conversation with Demeter in here somewhere. Is she talking to Pepe? Is that what comes back?
I don't know if she's
Like
talking
all this is about Demeter's scene, so it makes sense. But she shows up again for a convo with somebody.
I believe it is with Pepe.
Yeah, because
Is it Pepe?
Pepe is also doing
or Europa.
Is it with Europa? But Pepe is also doing whatever he wants thing, and whatever he wants is mostly probably
No, it's with Jaime.
Oh,
I
it is with
remember
Wodaime.
this now.
Yeah, okay. So
Yes,
she
because-
makes up with Wodaime. Yeah, that's right. He's in her garden. He takes a nap there later. Because he's about to have a meeting with Zeus, I think, which will come in the next section. But
Because
yeah,
I remember Wodaime specifically saying that her memory partition is at least functioning today.
yes.
Because
Well, yeah. Go ahead.
because looking at this conversation, Demeter might genuinely be mad and have some memory issues. Like she seems to be like the way she just speaks, the way she talks about her daughter, like all those things. It's one of those things I'm just all like, there's a conversation here happening, but I'm not sure if we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah. And Wodaime seems to navigate it masterfully, and it's just like, all right. This is where the first use of the term Aletheia comes up, which you put this that you assumed, but I think it's proven later. It's their true bodies are the Aletheia.
Yes.
The name Aletheia, or Veritas, is the classical goddess of truth, so the literal embodiment of truth, but also refers to conceptual truth in philosophy. So yes, this is the fancy buzzword for the true form. This is the final form. But also, I did want to say earlier, because it was a funny line I thought of. Pepe is taking that you can do whatever you like to mostly involve, I presume, Jojo posing around the shrine, just minding his own business. But yeah, we get more Wodaime.
More Wodaime. And this is when I put in this notes, Jesus fucking Christ, Wodaime! Part 2. Because this man literally fought Zeus and won, and Zeus was all like, hey, you all right, let's be friends now. And
You are my sworn friend. Me, the omniscient and omnipotent Zeus.
And the term sworn friend here is very important because basically it means that Zeus treats Wodaime as his equal.
Yeah.
Omnipotent, all-powerful Zeus. It's like Wodaime is all like, he's on my level.
Yeah. The best way you can describe it is that, like, I think Zeus talks about this either now or later. But he had the power to defeat Wodaime, but he did not take Wodaime seriously enough that Wodaime was able to set up his moves first, and then Zeus had to just be like, "Oh shit, you got me."
It's all like, I like you.
But we'll come back to the sworn friend thing. I think I have a reason why they go with that kind of logic there. But yeah, no. Admittedly, some of this is probably because of the thing that was talked about in Atlantis, that Wodaime's magecraft is literally like at its strongest because they're in Age of Gods type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he summoned the meteors, and then he was like, I did not think of this plan correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
but they have a good talk, and we switch back to the underground base. And
the twins are
find out
explaining a lot of their motivation and why they are part of a God Destroyer alliance and stuff.
because here's the kink. These twins have been, oh god, older 10 twins for 10,000 years.
Yeah, they've been
And
immortal since I think before the last Machia.
I think it was like during the Olympia Machia or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I'm pretty sure it was during about that because that's when they probably instituted the system of ruling over besides, coexisting.
Yeah, they explain that they are given ambrosia, the nectar of the gods, by Demeter, which gives them immortality. Also, by the way, means that guy we thought Musashi killed isn't dead.
Yay. But there's the kink. Mandatory immortality is not good for human development.
Yeah.
Like, again, not only, at first, immortality would be cool, you get to do a lot of things, but the more you live, this is relatively, if you do not have constant stimulus, I mean this, like actual stimulus, you need new and exciting things to do to keep your brain occupied, you will find yourself losing more and more time. You will blink and days will pass, and they'll just get worse and worse and worse. God, I remember when I was a kid, a half-hour car ride would be an eternity. But here I am, 30 plus, a 30-minute car ride is like, oh, that's just down the road.
Yeah,
Lovely.
it's because when you're younger, your reference for time is shorter, so you think 30 minutes is more of your life to that point. Then once you get a few decades in you, you're like, oh, 30 minutes is nothing. And that just keeps going and going.
It keeps going
Macarios
and going.
a couple of times even mentions, like, sister, don't worry, I haven't needed to eat your food in like 200 years. Meh.
Yeah. So yeah, these twins are not as childlike as I thought.
So yeah,
But-
we have the confirmation of the stagnation. Most humans have been living the exact same day over and over again for 10,000 years. Which sounds like hell to me rather than heaven.
Again, like, in this world of doing the same thing over and over again, yes. Like,
I will say this philosophically, I'm kind of, pro human life extension or whatever.
yeah.
But that's in the sense of like getting out there into it doesn't literally repeat, but they say they've been functionally living the same day. They don't need to do anything different day in, day out. So they just do the same routines over and over again. But
again,
like,
this is
the reason why
I
I said I do that, by the way, the thing about like long life is because that would be to learn more, to go farther, to do new things, right?
Like,
to exceed the limits of the human lifespan in terms of experiences. But
I would, if like I have the choice, I would definitely, like, if I had the option, if someone said, if some game were like, hey, do you want like eternal life and youth? I'd be like, fuck yeah, give it to me. But I had the caveat, I would like to die when the last human dies, because it's one of those things. Once you have seen everything and done everything, your life is pretty much over there at that point. Because once you have no stimulation in your life to focus upon, no new things to do, it's your life literally becomes empty, and there's literally no point. Like,
that's when you yeet yourself into the sun.
Pretty much. So,
but yeah, no, like literally for 10,000 years, their society hasn't needed to change. They have been doing the same things over and over again. If you go to school, you keep going to school. If you're a child, you never get older. There's a lot of logistical questions we come to later, but it's just,
like, no.
It is an unchanging eternity. Humans encased in glass.
Pretty much. Like, still living butterflies on a pin. But with that, we shall move on to section 6, Thou art the harvest that reaps the stars 3. And we open up with a conversation between Odaime and Zeus.
Yeah.
And
Wait,
Zeus,
see his sprite?
Yep, he actually has a fairly classical design. Like, very, very evocative of a lot of Renaissance and I can't think of the pattern of it, but depiction of him. Big, muscly,
yeah,
face full of whiskers.
Yeah.
Even his additional frills don't seem too much either.
Yeah, he's big, burly, bearded. I mean, he looks like he's Herc's dad, basically.
Yeah.
Wild hair, big white beard, very cloud-like, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He does have a weird lightning stick thing.
You gotta give him some frills.
Yeah. But no, it's a good design.
A good design. Also, listening to him talk seems like a fairly solid dude. Like from this one conversation I had to him, he seems alright.
Yeah, I mean, he's tried to explode us, but he's still he's doing his thing of running everything. I think at this point is where he talks about how he's using like 90% of his power level to just run the tree.
Yeah. We'll get to that, Legendary.
But so, I would love to take you to my myth corner for a little bit and talk about how, because they talk about Zeus's authority, and earlier they talk about, even when discussing like how invincible he is, Zeus is not literally omnipotent because he does not have authority over everything. He possesses every authority instead, which means that there are some areas of the universe which he cannot control still. He is basically divided into discrete portfolios, and he does not have a portfolio which is just everything. But he discusses a lot what he's like and how he's good to his word and so on. And in real life, I want to bring up that obviously Zeus, being the chief god of a major pantheon for a cultural center, a very big deal culture that lasted a long time, Zeus has a fuck ton of epithets. And if you don't know how epithets work, this is very common in lots of things, but especially in Greek mythology, epithets change the aspects of the gods they're referring to. One epithet, by the way, that comes up a lot is Area, as in warlike. That is applied to Ares, obviously, but also Athena and Zeus. There's a Zeus Area. Sometimes even Aphrodite. We'll come back to that one. But Zeus has, like, all the epithets ever. But a lot of his, and this is probably the basis for possessing all authorities, But some of his biggest ones, Zeus is the god of hospitality. Xenia, very important to the ancient Greeks and very important to Zeus. You do not fuck with sacred hospitality or Zeus will get you. He will come up with some shenanigans for you. Second, Zeus is the god of oaths and promises. You swear an oath to Zeus, it is taken seriously. Also, fun fact, Zeus is the god of fair trade. Zeus Agorius, literally Zeus of the marketplace. So I'd shop at Z-Mart.
Zeus shopkeeper sprite win.
But yeah, basically, this is I think some real life mythology stuff you should know about, like why Zeus is the way he is. This is because Zeus has a shitload of authorities and epithets. So as a ruler, we are seeing him do the kind of king of heaven thing, and he's got a lot of Zeus's identity to the Greeks is tied up in this idea that he is the guy who like enforces the rules of society. We also get an interesting bit because this is where we get our first pop in with Beryl. Beryl is looming as the gods leave their meeting, and runs into Aphrodite. And he's just a snivelly little bootlicker. I bet he likes to get stepped on.
Bitch!
But he, says the right things to Aphrodite. He plays to her ego. And he mentions that he has come from a terrible place. So the people of Avalon have no faith in anything but themselves, and there were no gods there to begin with. Anyway, they just play cat and mouse games, and then he fucks off for a little bit, and I haven't seen him since. But whatever, he's here too, Scrublord.
So during all this conversation, Zeus was like, Demeter, go get him. And Demeter's like, "Kay."
He's like, Demeter, I could take care of this problem, but I'm gonna have you take care of this problem.
And this is where I say, in all caps, Jesus fucking Christ, Demeter! In parentheses, sick animation, bro.
Yeah, so this is, I think, one of our first of our actual factual, much like the arrow shot in Atlantis, but that was, one in the entire thing. We have a lot of goddamn, actual animated cutscenes.
Mm-hmm.
Demeter's Alethea shows up, and she just pops off. Hey, everybody remember that one story about how Demeter nearly killed all of us by inventing winter? Yeah.
She was very, very mad.
She was very upset that day. She was a mite nettled. But yeah, so this is talking about the tokusatsu thing. This is full blown Independence Day, Earth Defense Force shit. Demeter is literally raising the city a section at a time to find us. And it's really creepy and weird because all the people are just they're sad, but also because she possesses the power to resuscitate them. Because basically, the immortality is pseudo. Gods can still kill you if you're a human. Humans can't kill other humans. But gods can kill you. But Demeter's authority over the harvest and regeneration allows her to just revive people she has killed.
I feel like this is partly in because someone doesn't have Hades' authority, which probably governs the dead in the afterlife.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we don't have a celestial bureaucracy. There's no Department of the Afterlife anymore. I assume that Thanatos' authority probably would have sided with Hades in the war, so... And in fact, did we run into a Thanatos island? I don't remember. But they do mention that when talking about all that praising Zeus, they talk about how Zeus took over Apollo, the sun from Apollo, and sleep from Hypnos, so Hypnos is gone. Demeter can just resuscitate them after she blows them up. But she's still leveling fucking city blocks and skyscrapers with people in them, and it sucks. And this animation was so nice they played it twice. But then we commence operation. We won't know until we try. Basically, we talk about the difference between Musashi specifically goes on another one of her speeches talking about the difference between killers and heroes, and basically going I think even the AI even says, yeah, this is what got us the first time. Demeter just showed up and leveled the fucking city because we wanted to protect those people. But we even go through talking about how, yeah, we're going to make the same mistake again because that's what we do, right? We're, the last master of humanity and a bunch of heroic spirits. We can't not try and save lives. Also, she will eventually blow up the base, because her power is tilling the land. And then we actually get we commence the operation. Holmes is a little punch drunk still. No, somebody is weird to him and he's just no, I'm not an imposter. It's very silly. But they go through this whole thing. He has a couple of different commence operations because we really are just winging it. which I don't think
can't
Sherlock
re-
Holmes is against, but he finds very funny.
I can't remember what it was. I can't remember what part 2 was, but I remember what part 3 was. Hit him as hard as we can. I'm just like, yep.
Yeah, there is. We won't know until we try. Oh gosh, I don't remember.
Oh, I think second one was make it up as we go.
Yeah, make it up as we go, and we'll hit him as hard as we can. It's great. So we actually have our stalling fight with Demeter.
Mhm.
You should say the line, because it's funny. This comes back.
So, my first fight, and my immediate first thought I was looking at this is, the meter has a big booty and has the HP to match it.
Yes,
And-
I think her design is supposed to invoke, like, a fruit. Like, perhaps a
Oh, yeah.
pomegranate.
Oh, it is. It definitely is.
But she has a big, round lower body and then a teeny, tiny little wingy body at the top. As opposed to, like, Artemis, which she looked like a giant space gun with arms and a face. Space face.
Space.
But that wraps up Section 6. We move on to Section 7. If thou art the harvest who reaps the stars, 4. This is the big one. This is 7. So Demeter really doesn't give a shit about us. She just sends more waves of mooks after us, so we have to punch them off.
Saying everything, saying she's sorry.
Yeah,
Killing
she says
everybody.
this speech a lot. Again, talking about, like, logic loops and shit, right?
Right.
Some soldiers show up to corral us, and we gotta fight them. They're armed with the Demeter legacy, so they're really hard to kill. But then Canis shows up and kills them all. It's a great scene. One of them is just like, I got stabbed in the back? And Canis is just like, yeah, fuck you. Die. Bitch. And so Canis shows up and murders a lot of guy, which Musashi is appreciative of on multiple levels. And I just this is where the running joke comes in. Head empty, no thoughts, only beauties. Miyamoto Musashi.
Sometimes you have to remember Musashi is constantly horny on main.
Correct. Yeah, even though Canis tells her, do not call me beauty again, Musashi is like, do it, you won't.
No, Musashi was like, do you want me to lie to you? And Canis is like, no, do not ever lie to me.
Yeah, Canis is like, fuck. Shit, logic trap. But yeah, Musashi is just like, I'm gonna call it like I see it, okay? Like, if you want to fight, that would be great, actually. So we have a big, long flashback about how Canis came to be temporarily on our side. She does specify that she's going to murder us later, but Gordolf did a favor for her, which I have communicated in the notes as Bread 1, Canis 0.
I keep remembering this one scene from the CM, and it always was like, what the fuck is Gordolf doing?
The most dramatic croissant.
It is,
though, yeah.
Because there's a scene in the CM where he's just walking with a plate with a croissant on it, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And apparently
Well,
it's a
when you put it in
item.
context, it really is that, because, like, he's walking to the room where they've stashed Canis after recovering her. Munier is like, all right, director, I would like you to remind me, even though I already know, you, 1, took Canis into our ship. 2, you did not restrain her in any way. 3, you gave her a regular-ass room. And now 4, you're bringing her a fluffy croissant? To which Gordolf is like, yes.
You forgot put her into recovery, too.
Right, yeah, they healed her, and then they put her in a regular room without restraining her. And then Munier is just like, I'm not going in that room. That's an evil room. I'm not going in there. So Gordolf alone, armed only with a croissant and his wits and his mustache, negotiates with Canis. It is a great scene. I did not really break it down in the notes because there's not really anything, we can explain about it. You just have to see our master negotiator.
Basically, he comes clean. He's like, yes, it's not about being good. It's because I feel fucking bad about this because this is all my fucking fault.
Yes, I destroyed Chaldea. So, because Canis is like, you've got 5 minutes until I destroy everything. You could run away. I'll save you for last. And he's like, no, I will not leave. I refuse because you would just attack the rest. I'm the director. I am responsible. Also, crippling guilt. But yeah, he communicates to Canis that we killed Poseidon. That makes her very glad mad. Like, she wanted to stab Poseidon, but also she's happy.
Canis is a
that she
character of
really
dual
wants to
emotions
Poseidon.
constantly.
Yes. I think it kind of makes sense in context of like Canis's whole existence, especially in the Lostbelt of being stuck with Odaime in a similar fashion to the Dioscuri, right? So like, she's pissed off about everything all the fucking time, but also is still a human. She talks about being the strength of a divine spirit, but she still was a human originally. So we go through all these things, and like I said, you got to read the scene for yourself. You know it if you've seen it already.
Oh, yeah.
But eventually, Canis decides that she does owe Gordolf, possibly just for the croissant.
Yo, don't look on the croissants. They're like my favorite bread-like thing.
It's great.
I love croissants.
And she did say she needed a snack before she was ready to go. But yeah, so Canis explains that because she still has Poseidon's authority, she also has power over the land, because at one point Poseidon was just as much a land god as he was a sea god, as much as a land god is Demeter. This is true, by the way. Various cults in Greece thought that Poseidon was responsible for earthquakes. So, yeah. Hell, I even think... I don't know how confirmed it is, because we can't read their fucking language. Thanks, guys. But I think there's some theories that in Mycenaean Greece there was no Hades yet, and the underworld god role was Poseidon, who is basically king of the sea and the earth. So, yeah, it makes sense. So we're gonna beat up Demeter.
Yeah.
And Canis will not shut up about Demeter's ass. It was fat.
It was huge!
Yeah, no. She really won't, though. She says it like 2 or 3 times. And now we get to the actual fight, which is bad. It sucks.
It sucks.
Audience at home, I would like to tell you, our word of the day today is vehicular manslaughter. If you say that's 2 words, I'll run you the fuck over. But this fight sucks ass.
Alright, it really does. So, I'm gonna go over the sins of this fight real quick, alright? So, this is... Technically, it's a 3-pip node. It's a 3-pip node. The HP ain't crazy, but, we have some problems here. First off, we have a forced neutral class support. It's forced. You have to take Canis. Canis, a Lancer, going up against a Caster. Not the greatest. Canis' sole purpose in here is to negate Demeter's buffs, which is super useful. It's sick. It's great, thank you.
Could also be for free. I'm actually glad you put this in your notes, because I thought about this, but I did not write it down. I feel very bad for Canis in this fight. Yeah. I really felt if they were going to make her mandatory, they should have done something like gave her temporary class advantage versus casters, or some kind of damage buff or something. Because really she's just soaking up space, and that's mostly just because of other stuff we're going to talk about. But at one point, I took the storyline Canis, who's NP5, and I think might be level 90. I dropped an NP on Demeter. It did 600 damage. Not 600,000. 600.
That's because you were probably on the damage cut.
Oh, it wasn't the damage cut turn. Yeah, it was not meant to do good. But that's like how little they have done to make Canis worth it in the fight.
Yeah,
like,
but no. On average, Canis' MP would do between 10k and 20k damage. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I fired that bird off a lot, okay?
I mean, yeah, she gains NP like a motherfucker.
Yeah, but
still, it's just...
No, it's not great. So again, this should have been... Canis' buff should have been just an off-screen buff that just, like, pops at the beginning. Like, honestly,
what I would have loved here, give me a choice of the 3, right? Like, give me the ability to pick Musashi, Holmes, or Canis. And because Holmes, story support Holmes, even if he was only like level 70 or something, because he's been downgraded a little bit, would be perfect because he has pierced defense. But no, that would be too easy.
And so we're gonna go on to this one because this is the one. This one took me a few minutes a few tries to figure out, because usually when I first start doing things, I don't think too hard about the mechanics.
Yeah, this is also, by the way, where this only took me 2 tries. Is I went to go bitch about this thing you're gonna bring up, and I had the other part of it confirmed.
Yeah.
I was like,
So, free MP charge, making what seems a 5-pip actually more of a 3-pip. Because if you don't know, Demeter actually has a 3-turn cycle, in which every turn she does a specific skill. First 2 turns, she does a skill, well, actually, I don't know if it's...
The first is she does her heal, debuff, immune, and I think it's a debuff cleanse. But because she's constantly debuff immune, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, I don't know why they fucking did that. I really don't. But... the second is like defense up and defense cut. And her third is she just gains 3 MP silver.
Yeah, she self-charges NP and does an attack up.
And I'm like, okay, so you have to basically eat a fucking very powerful MP every 3 turns. It's bullshit.
Yeah, it sucks. My vehicular manslaughter team,
and that is right. It also has 50%. It's like attack up.
Yeah, and she gives you a max HP cut, which is indefinite. I talked about this in the pregame. You can remove it, but it's indefinite. It won't go away on its own. So to explain my team notes earlier, I talked about my setup was obviously Canis is stuck there. She must go in the front line, but it was Jean with Prisma Cosmos, Kentucky with one of the I think it was Fondano Chocolat because it gives him like starting NP, and then Little Vinci with Origin Bullet, I believe. Basically, my strategy revolved entirely around picking my command cards. So every 3 turns, Jean would flag. Every 3 turns, Jean would fire her NP. She would give me a turn of invul, and she would remove the old max HP down stack. And that strategy worked up to a point. I still had to, at the start of the last bar, I still had to spend a Quartz Revive. But the strategy worked.
My strategy, like, once someone said, like, they had John in there, I modified mine, but mine was Kentucky, John, and then I had Scotty. I had Scotty in the back along with Maid Alter.
Yeah.
I can't remember my fucking CE placement perfectly, but I had a couple K-scopes in there and whatever.
Yeah.
Because, again, guys, if you don't remember, Scotty's MP just gives you a turn of evade. That's really fucking handy in case, for some odd reason, your John can't pop a fucking invul.
Yeah. No, it's good.
But, again, with Scotty there, I had some decent quick support, and, like I said, Kentucky's very self-sufficient.
Yeah, Kentucky, I think Kentucky with a damage multiplier is almost like one of those CEs that gives him like extra power or something. It's almost mandatory for this shit.
It really is.
Because like if you let him do the crit loops, yeah, everybody gets NP charge pretty fast because she is an AoE multi-hit attacker.
Mm-hmm.
We've basically covered your 2 pips here because we talked about her constant healing. She heals 10k passively and 50k when she does a heal.
Yeah. It's
but she does do AoE and it's bad.
It's bad. So all her normal attacks are just AoE, which again I think is one of the stupidest mechanics you can have in this game. Because
I mean it depends on the enemy. A lot of times those guys have like shitloads of hits, so you charge NP very fast. But this is.
But combined with the fact that it MPs every 3 turns has constant hard defense, so you are just slowly whittled away constantly.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, like once you get in that fast bar, you have to deal with 10k heal every turn, a 60k heal on a 3rd turn, and constant hard defenses that are keeping you from doing your max fucking damage. The only reason why it took me so fucking long to clear like over 30 turns, not because of that, because I was doing so fucking little damage to her.
Yeah, it's bad. You have a high attrition rate. I ended up spending, by the way, a command seal to have Kets drop an NP right away. Literally, she did the 50k turn, and like I was just like, okay, I will NP again and undo it. I will say, I think because my strategy was heavily leaning into the Jean, I did not feel quite as attrition-y. Obviously, I went down after 2 bars. I did not have quite as much attrition, I think, as you did because Jean's NP other effects are 1k heal per turn and defense up for 3 turns.
Oh yeah, no.
So
like,
I was literally not having a stack of those. It's brutal. Like I know some people would use Melt for this. I was afraid to because Melt takes normal damage from this boss. I was just like, I feel like I'm gonna die.
No, like I said, I had my John out too, but you know, if you miss if you literally miss a single flag, you're just done.
Yeah, no. I did not miss a flag. Like I said, I went out of my way to make flag work, but it's bad.
It's bad.
It's brutal.
The thing I think that probably kills me the most, though, which really is a hard stop to your fight, is the first bar break, in which it clears all your buffs and gives you 3 turns, 3 times nullify buff, which I think should now be called nullify skill. Because it doesn't just stop individual buffs, no, it stops just buff activation. So if you have any skills that do, like, you know, multiple buffs, it only counts for 1. Yeah. I know this because I tried several times to maybe try to get multiple buffs off one skill. Doesn't fucking work. You have to do 3 separate buffs, or wait, 3 fucking turns to do this. Hey guys, guess what happens every 3 turns? A fucking MP.
Yeah, this is when my frontline ate shit the first time. This is why I did have to do a revive. Yeah, it's really bad. There are ways to get around it. I also wonder if like command codes make this easier. Some of the self-buffing ones.
I don't know. I do
My
know
John,
that,
by the way, is fully command. Like I've given her all the special regen ones on her arts cards, so maybe that helped me with some. But yeah,
it's bad. I do know that it can be resisted. Like several attempts, I did just have some of my servants just straight up be like, "Nah, fam."
Yeah,
And
it still counts as a debuff, so your debuff resist still works. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But thinking about things about fucking maybes, I don't know what this fucking confusion buff was, but it was fucking worthless.
Yeah, so I was told in my strategy meeting that allegedly, in the third phase, this boss can skill seal itself. I want to tell you, never saw it. I did this whole fight without that. Never happened.
Yeah, I saw it on one of my failed attempts, not in the actual attempt that I succeeded in.
Yeah, no. So there's a heavy RNG element. We also kind of skipped over it in a higher point, but you did say she technically has like 3 HP bars, but not really, because she has an unremovable 150k guts.
And let me tell you, if you don't take that shit down, she'll go back up to full health again, because she has a 60k heal.
Yeah. That was when that NP proc went off for me, which was just like I had to spend my one command spell to be like, Cats, I need you to NP right the fuck now. Big damage right now.
Big damage, no whammies.
And yes, I think even with it being her damage cut turn, I think I had a Cats do like 69k nice damage and just was like, okay, attrition done. Woo, let's get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Go vroom. Da Vinci go vroom. So yeah, no. This fight is brutal. It is an absolute gut check. If you do not have the appropriate... Shush, don't steal my joke yet. We're not there yet. This is like... Yeah, you probably need hard facts. The fight is designed, especially because her buffs are cyclical, like, even if you are explained the mechanics, you don't really get it until you're in it, right? Like,
well, no, I'm pretty
somebody
sure,
has to, like, walk you through it, or you have to experience and be like, I see now. And then you have to, like, work out the strategy.
No, like, that's what I had to do. Like, I didn't really ask anyone for advice because, again, what other people have is not what I have. So I have to make do what I have to do. I was literally like, I'm like, all right, who has this is why, I focused on my Scotty and stuff, because I was at the beginning trying to use my art strats, but my best single target, arts is Roma, and he's not fully developed. And his kit's more built around team support rather than single support. So I'm like, no, this guy ain't going to do the big numbers I need. So I had to switch to Kentucky, got his skills up, be like, all right, I can do mad damage right here. Now I just need to keep him fucking alive long enough. Which then led me to bringing in Scotty for Avant, then John for more hard devices. Then I realized there was a battle of damage attrition in the back half. So then I was like, all right, I need another attacker in the back, which brought me to Maid Alter because she was also quick.
Yeah. I went for the hybrid strat. Like, I still let Kentucky do his thing, but I didn't even bother, because he just does the big damage on his own. And I basically went for a half stall strat, like I said. Because once you get Ryder Da Vinci in rotation, she makes it very easy to spam NPs. So her damage isn't great, but it's enough that it can keep chipping away at that 10k per turn if she does an NP. And the fact that it stimulates your own guys and she's healing herself constantly, it was just like, it worked out. I also invested heavily into my Da Vinci when I got her, so
yeah,
it's all about the prep you have. If you've never gotten an origin bullet, it's a fucking great CE for caster bosses. But if you don't have one, you're gonna have a bad time. Maybe you gotta go really aggro, but also be prepared for a slog. Like you have to be high tempo, but your high tempo will not necessarily make the fight go fast. Lucky, I think you said you did 37.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't clock my turns, but it was also a fuck ton. I was doing this for I think literally 20 or 30 minutes of real time. It is an endurance match in a lot of ways. It makes sense though. She is this way, but I've heard mixed reports. Like a lot of people say that Demeter is kind of like Gawain. She's like a real gut check that's relatively early. I feel like this is almost designed with revives in mind. Like Delightworks at the time was just like, yes, the players can just revive infinitely with Saint Quartz. So what if we did a boss that assumes you're gonna revive? So it's just
that's bullshit.
Damn. Yeah, I know. And honestly, from what I've heard of people, I don't think follow-up chapters like Heian Kyo and Avalon, I don't think they've had bosses that are quite this hard or punishing anyway. I don't think that there are boss fights that are quite as mean-spirited as Demeter again after this.
I kind of feel like this is in some part because probably at the time the Lightworks was taking numbers from, players and whatnot, and maybe seeing specific strats are putting out high damage, so maybe they thought they can get away with putting something a bit tougher out there, not realizing that maybe not everyone can do those high damage strats. I don't fucking know.
I mean, I'm pretty sure, I'm fairly certain this is literally why they introduced Spirit Vein Stones, like, later this year in the equivalent time. Like, they were like, yeah, story fights are hard. It's just, it's rough. I mean, I know the Assassin one's gonna be bullshit, because that's just full of fucking debuffs. Yeah, I mean, I've heard mixed responses. Robin says the Assassin is just as bad. Other people are like, it's not as bad. So we'll see when I get there. It probably depends on your toolkit. I'll have to feel that one out myself, you know. I have strategies for that, though. I don't know. Do I have a good single target caster? I don't think I do. Do I just use Odin Cure? I mean, yeah, but like that's still.
Do you not have a Shiba?
Actually, my Shiba is like MP2 or 3 now. Oh right, my Kirky is MP5. Right, duh. I'm stupid. She's so brand new. I literally haven't used her. That's right. Yes. So that will probably be a strategy I try. Maybe Merlin backing, because Merlin's got those fucking team-wide invols.
Oh God,
guys, I want to just once again. I know we're just about to talk about Mash's gun. She gets her gun finally, but like, God, I miss Mash's free damage cut AOE so much, guys. Oh my God, please, I need it back. It's so good. Holy shit. But yeah, no. Anyway, after you get through all that bullshit, it's still not enough story-wise. So, yeah, it's, you gotta get in there. Well, Cadence has brought you a thing. So this gets us to Mash Kirilite's Black Barrel Replica. Gun!
Gun!
And if you don't get that, reference, it's JoJo Really Fast Part 3 specifically. I made a very shitty meme edit of this that I posted somewhere in spoiler. It's long buried now, but you know, it's in there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. So, Mash gets her gun finally. You saw it in the CM. She's got a gun. It kills things that are not supposed to be kilted.
Mm-hmm.
Or rather, each bullet, or each shot anyway, is one command spell, plus some extra stuff.
You know, maybe like your life and fate.
Yeah. It's very important. Can you put what in the chat? The meme I made? I mean, yeah, no, I think it's fine. If you can dig it up. Yeah, there it is. It's a very shit edit that took me way too long to do, but yeah.
So it calls one command spell, as you know, you need the magical influx and all that crazy stuff. But I did want to note, while this is a replica, this thing has been a concept that's been around for a while, seen in other Naso works. Specifically, Notes and Tsukihime / Melty Blood. It's actually come up several times. It's, I don't think that I'm really listening to get into the full notes of what it is, but it's bullshit.
Yeah, we talked about this when we talked about Sion. This is, and this was mentioned, we got this delivered from the Wandering Sea.
Yep.
Nova Chaldean base. One of the things that Sion has is her Black Barrel replica, which was a normal handgun to her. It's, you know, for killing vampires. Presumably she turned that into this monstrosity. Or at least that was the basis of it. There's a lot of exposition, but there's also a lot of, that's a really cool thing you said. I don't know what it means. Like, not even the people giving us the exposition understand how the fuck this works, just that
it does.
The Black Barrel is one of Atlas's 7 deadly things. They can destroy the world. It is designed to defeat immortals. Basically, it summons up negative energy. The bigger your lifespan is, the more power the bullet has, and therefore it's like an equal and opposite reaction. It's kind of like an antimatter cancel. So, yeah, Mash just starts saying words. She's apparently been drilling in the simulator with this, so she knows what to do, but none of us have any idea what the fuck it means. But she sets up, she aims the gun, you have to pull the trigger, as it were, and you do, and then we get another cutscene. Bang. Demeter is obliterated. Like, it shoots out a black beam of light, it pierces the body, there's a fucking negative image reverse, you know, they do an invert colors filter, and Demeter just vanishes. It's a big deal. As she dies, she has some internal thoughts. And yo, did the priestess just talk?
Priestess just talk.
What the fuck?
What the fuck is happening? And here we talk about regrets and madness.
Yeah.
And all sorts of sad things. Alas, poor villain.
Mm-hmm. She was just very sad. I mean,
very
she kept
sad.
saying it. But she was sad as she was running us over with her fat ass, so. Anyway, Neptune now.
Yeah, that we fired something we probably shouldn't have.
Take a nap now.
Good night.
Anyway, I went back and wrote this later because I felt it was relevant because we discussed kind of like what the other mecha gods did in the past. But We got to breeze through for the boss fight, but we get a lot of information about Demeter's Aletheia form in this, and we understand that she is the machine god in charge of resource gathering and reconstruction. Her model is based on Gaia's model. They explicitly call it she inherited a lot from Gaia in this timeline. Her special attack she does, Elegy Elusis, is designed to plow fields, harvest resources, and remodel non-living matter. So she can basically demolish soil, rocks, etc. to make fields, which is why she can obliterate skyscrapers as well. Mm-hmm. And her abilities give her the power to rapidly regenerate living tissue / rapidly grow plants for harvesting. She is responsible for feeding all these people, growing all their crops, distributing them, making sure they remain immortal, and also, remodeling the land. She's a goddess of the land and so on. Important to discuss all these bits.
Mm-hmm. Now, this might be because I've just played Horizon recently, but I get this odd feeling that the machine gods were basically some part of some huge terraforming culture development system. Like when you put it in our standard pantheon says, yes, all gods must, govern over an aspect of human life. But when you take humanity out of the initial equation and then set them up on their own, you have to wonder what their original purpose was. They came from the primordial chaos, something that they call in Consus, and have the abilities to basically nurture and develop a world. I'm not entirely
across the Sea of Stars.
Yes. So
and we do know a little bit about some of the systems we've seen. Poseidon is a amphibious model. He is meant to patrol and control the oceans. Artemis was a self-defense satellite.
Yeah.
We know that Hephaestus was some kind of fabrication unit because we found his leftover bits.
Mm-hmm. I find it very strange that all these machines have the functions to support something other than themselves built into them and travel across the Sea of Stars. There's a weird, what's the word I want to say? Lack of purpose and there's a weird lack of purpose in them being their, giant machines until they,
definitely. They definitely have an issue of purposelessness. I mean, this whole world does. Zeus talks about earlier how he agreed with Wodaime. That was one of the things he settled, that no matter what, he will protect humanity. Maybe not pan-human history, but he'll stand up for humanity, even though he doesn't really think that much of us. We are just a thing that is curious, We are intelligent. I mean, Demeter also expresses, she's like, these guys are, they're young, despite being around for 10,000 years. They haven't, picked up yet what's going on. Aphrodite has a lot more, specious take, where, hey, you motherfuckers have literally just evolved walking upright, you fuckers, what are you doing, not showing me respect? How dare you speak to me? But, if they crossed, the Sea of Stars, they're probably really, really fucking old. So it might make sense that they think of us, even after 10,000 years, as just tiny baby children. Mm. But yeah, there's definitely some interesting stuff here. Anyway, we as a player character, the master takes a nap now. So we go to intermission, records fragment. Stop. Whatever time.
We get a bit of a flashback here.
Wodaime is dreaming.
Mm-hmm. Thinks about his past a little bit. He seemed to be the young and upcoming member of the Kstrk family. Was going around, getting power, learning stuff. Seemed to have a case of, I'm a genius. Oh no! When young.
Yeah, he has a very interesting flashback about some stuff I'm sure we will probably come back to later. But some stuff happened. There's a reference to an infamous mage killer. But it seems like at a certain age, he was just, a huge nerd who minded his own business.
Elitist nerd.
Yeah.
Mind you.
I mean, he always thought he was going to do something cool because he realized how fucking strong he was and everybody told him he was the coolestest. But he was elitist, but at least outwardly he acted humble, right? Everybody told everybody, I'll get around it, it's fine. He knew he would do something cool, he just didn't know when or where. So he was in no rush.
But then he got stabbed. And then he passed out.
He got a poison bullet, I believe.
Something like that. And he woke up in a slums house with, one of the people that he was did not even acknowledge existed.
Yeah.
It cuts off there.
Thing.
A creepy thing.
Yeah, because Kaido came back to the garden and he sees Wodaime taking a nap and he's just like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like,
I didn't know you were capable of taking naps. Also, point, Kadak says, he thought, Wodame would be the perfectest and did not seem that he'd be taking a nap in the bench in the park. And we're like, no, fuck you. That is perfection. A beautiful park, a sunlit day. That's a perfect place to take a nap.
I mean, I think he meant perfectionist as in, like, surely Wodame would be micromanaging everything and he's not going to take a break. But no, Wodame is actually pretty relaxed. Yeah. He makes some terrible jokes, to which I inserted, how does Wodame know what servants I used? I posted a screen cap of this in chat, and I was like, this man is a wizard. He knows what strategy I use. Because he makes a joke about rock and roll, and then he says, no, actually heavy metal. And the Kadak is just like, what the fuck did you just say to me? I have known you for literal years. I have never heard you speak this way. Please never make a joke again. And my dad was like, I'm terribly sorry.
Wodame just wants friends.
I'm obviously still asleep. Do not think nothing of it. Let us never speak of this again. And Kadak is like, done. Anyway, there's some back and forth here. There's some double talk. Some sussiness.
Yeah. The more I see of Wodame, the more I'm convinced he's been undermining the foreign god the entire time, while playing it straight.
Yeah, the way I put this is, you can clearly tell by now, because you've seen him in several conversations, Wodame really embodies that whole letter of the law, not the spirit vibe. Makes sense that he admitted that what he did mostly was basically dumpster dive at the files in the clock tower. Like, I think he was in archaeology at one point, or astronomy, but he mostly looked through dead files of other departments for stuff. So, yeah, he is following the contractual obligations that the foreign god has given him, while also having his own methodology.
No, and in those terms, I actually started looking back on a lot of his previous actions, and I've started realizing there's been some inconsistencies in the planning. Like, for starters, since the beginning, everyone has always known that Wodame's Lostbelt was going to be the one that won. Everyone was there for a fact. But Wodame still insisted on everyone going out and doing their Lostbelts on their own. And when I started thinking about this, I kind of understand why. Why? Because, A, it divides the foreign god's attention or the foreign god's disciples' attention. They all can't be everywhere at once. So,
and it does seem like they still get something out of it. They talk about when they talk about Lostbelt for India, right? That like,
right.
This is when Pepe realized, hey, these motherfuckers don't just want this tree to grow, right? Like they want something else.
Yeah, no. So basically, this divides, the foreign god faction. That's what I'll call them. Attention. 2, it divides up their strength. Like they basically have a non-interference pact, which means none of them interfere with each other. But that also means none of them can come help each other, which is interesting because if you truly want a plan to succeed, you do not spread out your strength and say no one mess with anybody else.
Yeah, this is not a combat strategy, right? This is a science experiment, basically. They're running multiple different trials in parallel to see what works. If they really wanted to kick our ass and kick Panhuman History's ass, all 7 cryptors would have just summoned their Lostbelt servants in Olympus, and we would be fucked, right? There's no fucking way. We'd be dead. Unless the counterforce, like, shit out all 7 grand servants at once, we would be dead. There'd be no way. But
there'd be no way.
In order to keep the system, like, balanced, to keep the experiment fair, we're split up, we've gone over, and, things have kind of developed on their own. Wodame also, we saw through Ophelia's, eye powers, that Wodame insisted, despite the fact that it cost him great personal suffering, that his friends be brought back. The foreign god only wanted him, remember?
Right.
So he, out of his own reasons, wanted his allies back and set them to go about their own business. And, not interfering or whatever. So,
and here's a third.
A lot of things going on. Go ahead.
And here's a third one. He has basically not been interfering with Chaldea at all, which is something very weird. They keep saying, oh, it's not going to be a problem. Everyone can deal with it. But as we've proven multiple times, we do have the ability to carry out with our threats. And Wodame has known that Chaldea has been out there the entire time. Listen, Wodame and David are geniuses. You do not let things like unknown variables exist unless you want them to exist.
Now, to be fair, I think some of that in Olympus specifically is he has his perfect prediction. It's etched in the stars, right? He fought us the first time, and he says he wants to fight us the second time and absolutely kick our butts. So he's limited on the number of fights. By the way, we missed it earlier, but Zeus, when he was having that private conversation with Wodame, was like, you only fight 2 more times, right? Save that last one for me. I want to fight you. And then they probably
it is partially like that, but like I said, I think like
if you take it under advisement that we could still fuck it up like we did in the first fight, right?
Right.
Gatia basically showed up and bailed us out. I wonder if that's because that would have counted as a separate fight, basically. Because we lost our fight, and then he was going to finish us off, and then the guy showed up, and he was like, shit, this is a new fight. I got to go home. But he seems very concerned that we will somehow not die and use up extra fights, basically. Like, we will fuck with his prediction. So,
because basically, this non-interference
destination going on, I think.
So this non-interference pact has basically mean that we, as Chaldea, have been able to drive around, gather, analyze, learn information, and build our strength moving forward, like, with all these plans. Like, I think Wodaime is counting on our chaos factor to change something critical in everything, and I don't even know if
I
he knows.
also feel like Wodaime is like wheels in wheels. Like, his discussion with Zeus earlier is basically like, okay, so we both have the same end goal in mind, but our exact reasoning for things is different. But so long as one of us comes out of this okay, it doesn't matter. I'm almost wondering if, like, as you're saying, maybe Wodaime is secretly including us in that, and basically like, and if Chaldea somehow wins, that's also okay. Like, I think he's trying to set up a situation because the foreign god was putting us, humanity, in such a no-win scenario that no matter what, he's trying to make it so somehow we come out of this okay. Humanity survives. Again, maybe not pan-human history.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's not on our side, but he's definitely against the foreign god side.
Yes. I mean, he there's so many times when he's just been like, because the foreign god made me so, I cannot tell you about that, or I cannot do that. Like, He doesn't say, well, I don't want to do that. He's just like, oh, sorry, I'm contractually obligated. I can't talk about that with you. Which, for Pepe anyway, usually seems to be a subtle cue that, like, Pepe is like, I see. I will slink away to do my own business. Whereas Kadok's still being, like, a weird, anxious, paranoid bitch baby, and is just like, oh shit, is he sus? Does he suspect me? Am I sus? Demeter got exploded. Yes, that's bad news. Anyway, don't worry about it. Yeah, Pepe's good at what he does.
I love
also, they talk about how, I think this is another conversation Wodaime has with Pepe, where basically talking about, like, Pepe is a murder machine. His magical arts are devoted around killing people, but he's, like, one of the most morally upstanding cryptors. Like, he actually, like, feels feelings and thinks thoughts about people.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Damn it, I put Canis and Dioscuri in the thumbnail. I don't know what I put in the third one.
Maybe Witchcraft? That's CE with Ayaka Sojo? Maneka Sojo? Is it Monica or Ayaka? I don't remember. One of them. It's a new 5-star. People seem hype about it. But yeah, that's basically our interlude, is we get a shitload of Wodaime time, and you definitely have those, like, Big Joseph Joestar eyeball.
Yeah, let's do Witchcraft.
Which leads us to Section 8. Thou art the ardor that corrupts the stars. 1. Gee, what could this be referring to?
Ardor.
But yeah, so we start with another shot of the starry sky. Boy, there's a lot of leaning on the starry sky as a metaphor in this chapter, huh?
I think it's appropriate. It's from whence they came and somewhere they can't return to.
Also, in the beginning monologue, talking about humans and the day to shoot down gods, it's effectively like the opposite, right? Like, at one point, the stars were beyond our limit. They were a mystery. But then mankind saw the stars as a puzzle to be solved. And eventually, well, I don't know if you'd say we've conquered the stars. We have definitely, like, jumped that gap between us and the stars, right? Like, in modern science, we have been to
They are within our reach.
Yeah. Hey, Voyager's on his way out of this system right fucking now.
Yeah. Because now that I realize, like, that initial conversation about talking about a star was specifically Demeter talking about with us, you can pretty much assume that this one is Aphrodite, and they speak about things that they have lost. And looking at how Demeter turned out, Demeter, like, they explained this. Demeter basically went batshit insane because Zeus said, hey, you, kill your daughter.
Yeah.
And Demeter's just like...
Persephone sided with Hades because he's a good guy. Duh.
Yeah.
And Zeus made her destroy her. I'm going to assume, given the way he acted, it probably wasn't like a dickish thing, but more like, you're the only one who can unmake this thing you have made.
Yeah.
But it still sucks, and now she's kind of crazy pants.
And, that's one of the things, like, she regrets. She regrets to have to do all this killing, and that she just wants all the humans to, live, love, and be happy, because...
They are her children.
Mm-hmm. And what mother does not want that for their children?
I don't know, Axe. I think the Ice Age would be better than her literally yelling her regrets so loud that like she demolishes a city block.
The Ice Age got better.
Yeah, depending on which version you are of the kidnapping of Persephone, yes, basically like it gets better after we go through this loop-a-doop of everything, and like Demeter like freezes the world, and then depending on the telling, either I think it's Zeus has to go down to Hades and be like, okay, bro, we gotta talk about this. I know I said it was okay for you to marry Persephone, and I didn't tell Demeter, but Demeter is freaking out, bro. You gotta come back upstairs and like put her back. And then depending on the version, the pomegranate seed is either like basically like a clever ruse to be like, okay, Demeter, well, she ate some underworld food. She can't go back all the time. And since we have seasons, or, it was an actual, like, Hades was afraid he couldn't fight his own sister, the goddess of nature, to get his wife back. So yeah, no, Demeter has always been a kind of, like, subtle but powerful influencer. But yeah. What Aphrodite is talking about with the stars that she's lost has to do with her love.
And when that context, you look at her and you start going, oh no.
Yeah. I have some big chunky fucking notes here. Shout out to OSP for that Aphrodite video. You guys should go watch it. It's gonna contextualize a lot of stuff if you don't know this. But so first of all, we have a lovely conversation. Koyanskaya shows up and talks to Aphrodite, who she calls Venus. I assume at first just to be an asshole, but then Aphrodite says she likes the way that Koyan says her name.
Like the cut of your jib, girl.
Yeah, they have a very catty best frenemies discussion where like Aphrodite really doesn't like Koyanskaya, but then she wraps around to like, actually, I do like you.
Hey, there's few things better than an enemy that you know exactly what they're gonna fucking do.
Yeah. So they have this whole conversation and stuff, it goes back and forth. And we get a big clarification here finally. Koyanskaya is an alter ego, in caps. She does work for the foreign god. It is a professional contract. She is being compensated for her services. She is not one of the god's disciples, so she is not the same thing as Rasputin, Doman, or presumably Lostbelt Muramasa, who we saw in Atlantis. So we don't get into the details here, but this is kind of a thing that we've been wondering, and it makes a lot of sense why Koyanskaya is able to kind of do her own shenanigans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she has a professional contract who presumably gives her some leeway, so she gets to fuck around. Anyway, throughout this, and then a conversation that Aphrodite has with Pepe. Pepe, by the way, do not like Aphrodite.
Nope.
We get a lot of discussion here, explicitly talking about her different natures, aka basically her different epithets. Pepe drops what I think might be a hint towards the concept of Aphrodite Aurea, the warlike Aphrodite, because he talks about how this Aphrodite is kind of, violent and murder happy. She actually seems quite overjoyed to destroy humans or to see humans destroy each other.
He was actually she was quite excited to fight the other Lostbelts.
Yeah, she wanted to have conflict. He talks about how her manifestation in pan-human history was influenced by Ishtar, which is a very kindly way for Nasset to acknowledge that syncretism, Venus and Ishtar are probably the same thing, but, he has his own thing he's doing, right? So,
right.
But her manifestation being influenced by Ishtar makes sense. But Pepe explicitly notes that Aphrodite seems to be lacking her aspect of pandemos, her supporting and loving the people. If you guys don't know, for Ionia, for Athens and the like, Aphrodite has two big epithets. Aphrodite Urania, heavenly Aphrodite, is supposed to represent, like, platonic ideal of love, like cosmic love, divine love kind of a thing. This is sometimes the Aphrodite who is the one who is, emerges, virgin birth style from the sea foam.
He sells! Yeah.
And all that stuff. Her other common epithet, and this was especially common later, was Aphrodite, I believe, Pandemos, literally the people's Aphrodite. Because if you guys didn't know, Aphrodite is one of the few deities in the Hellenistic pantheon who was worshipped by basically everybody. Because who doesn't need love and aesthetics, y'all?
Mm-hmm. Everyone loves beauty.
Yeah. The aesthetical nature is inherent in our universe, and also, almost every heart can appreciate the conflict of love and friendship and whatever.
Yeah.
And Pepe is like, yeah, you don't really seem to have a lot of that. You don't have a lot of that love for the people thing. But I want to say, in my brain, in my mythology brain, this actually tracks in terms of mythography. The epithets of Aphrodite as kind of a universally loved goddess, a goddess of the common people, or Aphrodite as a protector of nations comes from more Hellenistic or later Roman traditions. The Romans' favorite epithet for Venus was Venus Genetrix, Venus the Mother, as basically like the mother of Rome kind of thing because of the Aeneid. Julius Caesar was big in the cult of Venus and actually claimed direct descendants from Aeneas, i.e. Venus. That's why he has like divinity like D as a servant. So the warlike version we know from Cytherea or Sparta are older. So and the Iliad may even have had a like basically political message of and overtones of trying to say Aphrodite is not a war goddess, which is the Ionian, the Athenian interpretation. Shout out to Diomedes, by the way, wounded Aphrodite with a spear. But definitely, like, if there was no drift of the people and no drift of their worship, like, everything has been the same way for 10,000 years. So the way that the people worship the gods of Olympus don't change, it makes sense that her character would not have fully moved on. Pepe puts this in the form of a metaphor where he says he cannot imagine this Aphrodite ever marrying Hephaestus, which has its own interpretational elements. But to talk about the Aeneid, there is a moment where, at the very least, Venus rolls up to Vulcan and is like, "I need you to make my baby boy a shield," and he's just like, "Okay," and she's like, "Really?" And he's basically like, "Yeah, duh. You're my wife. Am I gonna be like an asshole to you? No. You're asking me to do work. I love to work." But yeah, you have some follow-up points on this as well. Your own thoughts.
I have some own thoughts. So with this, it definitely seems like the machine guns are missing something that their proper human history counterparts had, which seems to make I wrote this wrong.
Yeah, I lucky stumbled there because you wrote PPH for some reason.
Yeah,
you should probably have done PHH.
PHH counterparts has, which
y'all.
Yeah, which make them means more cold and distant. The best term I could think of this is humanity. I put this in quotes, by the way, or at least aspects of themselves that make them more relatable to humans. Because this is something that we can talk about from the White Titan incident. With the White Titan incident, most of the machine gods were actually destroyed, and they were reduced to kind of their terminal state, and then relied on and then integrated with human society and became the pantheon as we know then and there. We went from Atlantean gods to Olympian gods. There was a distinct shift in there. And at that point, like as Omega was saying earlier, their types of worship and stuff would have changed, and they would have taken on different aspects in themselves. We don't seem to have that here. Now, this actually got me on a little bit of a theory crafting thing, and actually had me go on another path of what actually if this had happened, but the coexistence faction had been successful, what the world would have looked like. And actually, if the Atlantean gods had chosen to coexist with humans instead of ruling over them, we actually might have gotten a genuine utopia. Because the problem with the Olympian gods here, or Atlantean gods here, is that they are exerting direct control and basically treating humans as basically
I think somebody said it better. Yeah, they're ants in an ant farm. They're a zoo.
Yeah,
they are important because they are an interesting form of life that is on this planet they found, but they do not get to rule their own destiny. We will talk about this later as well.
Yes. If the coexistent branch had succeeded and not everyone had fucking died, I don't fucking know. I'm pretty sure Zeus would have been literally the tipping factor. Whatever Zeus side picked, that side probably would have fucking won. But if they had chosen coexistence, they probably would have actually ended up in the same sort of state as proper human history as they would be present, but not present for fucking everything. Humans would still guide their own destinies, and gods would just be there to interfere themselves with major conflicts or some sort of shenanigery or tomfoolery. And humans would continue.
If they could have kept their machine bodies, it would basically be like, I mean, I don't think they'd move past. We would move past them for a long time. But if you fast forward those 10,000 years, right? I mean, we look like modern, but that was like 10,000 years ago. So it would be the actual like alternate history, far future. Like we would be living in a modern Atlantean society, and there would probably be like actual conflict and stuff, and humans would have to work it out. But
Yeah.
they would still know that the gods would be there to like
Support them, take care of them, and stuff. And
hell, we've talked about this a lot, and we're gonna come back to it. But like Hades was on the coexistence faction. I mean. That means the afterlife is real, and the guy running it's not an asshole, right? Like,
right,
that solves one of humanity's great mysteries.
And like, I think we would eventually like there'd still be confidence stuff, and because we would have gods here and pushing our technology and whatnot, and longevity and whatnot, all these like crazy things. Eventually, I think humans would eventually just return to the stars and continue humanity that way.
Which, somebody raised a point that they think that timeline wasn't pruned. Makes sense. I believe Merlin has said that that's our, and actually Gil too. I think both of our clairvoyance boys have said that's humanity's future. If we don't die out, that is where the next age of humans is to go to beyond the Earth and basically stretch out a little.
So, like, honestly, like, the more I thought about it, the more I'm pretty sure, like, yes, the coexisting faction winning was probably would lead to the idyllic human society.
We would actually reach the next age. We would move on.
Yes. And so...
But this, as you said, the ruling faction does not have ages. They just exist.
Yes.
Anyway, after all this discussion with Aphrodite, we have another bad dream. It's like it's foreshadowing or something. It sucks. But we wake up, and we have another meeting, another unfamiliar ceiling. And I gotta say, given the 2-year pandemic, the idea of this morning conference call hits slightly different now. This is just your daily check-in call, Gordolf gets on the line, he gets interrupted everywhere, but we get to meet up with everybody, we double-check, and everything's going okay. We need a little bit of rest. Da Vinci pops in, even though she should be resting. She is also a workaholic. And lets us know that, hey, so that's what happens if you use the command spell and fire the black barrel. It's very stressful. It's bad for your body. If we didn't have access to modern healing magecraft here, you might have died. Do not fire the black barrel in sequence. Which I immediately went, foreshadowing. I predict sometime before this whole arc is over, we're going to need to fire the black barrel in sequence. Maybe not in this chapter, but somewhere in there, there's going to be a moment where we're going to need to double tap. And it's probably going to suck.
Oh, I am die. Also, yes,
hey,
legendary.
Maybe we'll be the ones to evaporate, and Foe has to be like, all right, come on
load
now.
save state. Also, legendary, it makes sense. Remember, in the grand scale of the Earth being the Earth, we have been here a tiny time. Itty bitty.
Yeah, and also, we know in the Nasuverse that extraterrestrial species exist, right? Like, there's Velber, there's whatever the Olympian primordial chaos faction is. There's a lot of stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
So there's many things out there. But we get some great conversation. Holmes talks out loud, possibly just to be catty, to which Canis is like, cease. She speaks in all caps.
Double font size.
Yeah, and double size. And I'm like, man, we really love playing around with the font size this chapter, huh? It's a good effect.
It really is.
But also, Holmes just tells Canis and Musashi to get a room. Where has this ship been for the past 2 years? Guys, you didn't tell me there would be so much flirting.
Thinking about it, I ship it to it. It's like they surprisingly go well together.
Yeah. It's because Musashi has obtained a void and has no fear. Like, that no fear? She is just the no fear. And there's no one fear. There's just no fear. 0 fears. Or maybe it's no fear, 5 swords.
Canis Musashi is just Canis saying, go fuck yourself. And Musashi's saying, come over here and do it yourself.
Yeah, basically, like, what are you gonna do? Kiss me? And Canis is like, what? Let's play Fuck, Marry, Kill. But there's only 2 of us. Yeah, it's great.
Oh, it's great. Honestly, and looking at Canis, although she's still, like, foul-mouthed and, like, angry, and actually, she feels fairly mellow.
I think we've gotten... basically, during the last chapter, she reached her incandescent rage point, 200% mad. And then the Dioscuri, like, booped her snoot, and she was like, all right, I see. We have made mistakes. I am going to murder them later. How will I do this? So, like, she's more relaxed and, like, just like, okay, all right. I'm untethered, but also I could just die, so I need to do stuff. And,
Honestly,
she talks a lot about her kingship as well in this chapter. Like, hey, you guys know I was a king, right? I'm not going to go back on my word.
Also, I think it's probably because she's not surrounded by Greek divinities that she hates so much.
Yeah.
It seems very less stressful that way.
Also, I mean, Jason is not there to slam her trauma button.
True.
So, like, now she is the one who yells at people. But yeah, it's an interesting point. She does have some great commentary. I like Gordolf accidentally keeps saying, use Canis, and Canis is just like, what was that? What was that, mustache boy? And he's like, yes, terribly sorry. We'll make use of your abilities that you possess as a person. So yeah, it's good character development for her.
No, like I said, I liked her a lot, and I rolled for her, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, this is what I said. If only I had one. Oh well. Actually, I could log in right now. I have a ticket, but I want to finish this recording because we're getting close.
We're getting close.
And we're only 3 hours and 47 minutes in.
Oh, okay. We kept it down. Well, again, we're only a third through the fucking story.
Yeah, no. This is why we're gonna have to live stream, because there's no way I'm gonna be able to render a video anytime this epic. Anyway, we have some back and forth. We get even more AI buddies, and I gotta say, I'll be honest. I'm mildly miffed. This chapter seems to involve retreading a lot of characters from London and around then, and even some Americas. But all of them are basically taken out by the time we got here, so it's like just AI cameos. Fucking Lancer Artoria Alter's cameo shows up for a second. Everybody's like, "Oh, the King of the Storm," and I'm just like, "Okay,
Why?
but what if she was actually here and we could actually talk to her and get characterization, and she wasn't just a fucking cameo? How dare you?" It's like, how dare you?
I am again fairly surprised. Like, why are there all these mostly lightning themed characters up in this joint? It seems very.
I think
weird.
the idea, especially with like Tesla, like how Tesla's NP works, I think the idea was the Counterforce sent servants who would not immediately die if Zeus tried to throw lightning at them.
I guess that makes sense.
Which honestly may have over-specialized them. Like, Zeus doesn't actually get off his ass and fight guys a lot. When Holmes was about to use his Noble Phantasm to get us out of there, I'm like 90% certain that's what he was going to do. He was going to use Elementary, my dear, to like create the solution to the mystery. Probably would have been some way to like set off Demeter's trauma button and make her freak the fuck out. And Zeus was like, cease. He yeeted a thunderbolt at that guy. Which, also shout out to Sherlock Holmes shrugging that off and basically being not quite like that quote from DBZ Abridged where Frieza's like, "Ha, next time bring your A game," but like a little bit like that. Yeah, it damaged his spirit core again. Yes, he's being a little goofy. I think what's probably done is it's limiting his access to his Noble Phantasms. He also did not use his disguised Noble Phantasm. He's just chilling. He needs time to heal. But don't worry, the Demeter stuff will get him good juice. By the way, it was confirmed canonically that Zeus took over Demeter's authority after she was destroyed, and they scavenged what was left of her body.
They were able to bring back half the people that was killed.
Yeah, so
Zeus be working hard, yo.
Yeah, is got some stuff. We'll talk about it more. Yeah, in my next second, I think I talk about like his systemic resources. So we'll get in there. Basically, that's it here. We talk about some stuff. We got to go out in disguise. We're doing a sneaking mission, and because they clarify what the plan is. The plan is we're gonna force a grand summoning. Fuck you, Zeus.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is interesting. I think it's very direct, right?
Well, yeah.
We did already have it. The Counterforce already sent a grand, but he had to stop off before he got in there to do a thing. By the way, Gatia told Musashi a grand would appear. But yeah, so we move on to Section 9, basically our last section. We got a couple of Section 10 notes that we might as well read. I don't know. But
we probably could.
Section 9, all of it. Thou art the ardor that corrupts the stars. 2, we move the base because it's an underground vehicle. It's basically a subway tunnel. This just feels like a loading screen to me. Quick, put in just 2.
I'm more partial to climbing a ladder while someone sings to me.
But yeah, we also, while this is going on, we get Atlantis facts of Sherlock Holmes. I love this, by the way. There's just this whole giant discussion about, all right, so this technology is Atlantean, in fact, and so are these clothings. How does that work? Well, we know from modern science that Atlantis definitely doesn't exist. Definitely. It's not real. It's nowhere on Earth. We haven't found it. But what if it did exist? And we go through like this whole thing back and forth, talking about like, how it could exist and where it's from, like. And basically, he even turns to Mash and he's like, "Theory, where are we right now?" And Mash is like, oh, Olympus, right. We're on a mountain inside a pseudospace, because they mentioned, by the way, this whole city, which is called Interstellar, is basically floating inside a hollow Earth space that shouldn't exist. So,
Right.
Yeah, it's well, I hate the what if discussions for no purpose, but this is like in the story, okay, we're in Atlantis, how does that work? And so we run down the line of actually like doing the old history work.
We hate what if. I don't what ifs where I have to consider like 300 fucking servers to start picking certain ones out.
Yeah, it's hard to build a what if from nothing. This is more like, actually, this isn't even a what if. This is, how do we explain this? So we find that we backfill it in. It's great. Mash continues to be a giant nerd.
It's adorable.
Yeah. Holmes mentions he needs to go and talk to Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and Mash is like, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who wrote all your stories. I've read all of his novels. I have also watched all of the movie adaptations, at least the ones that you were in. And then you're like, Mash, are you okay? She's just like, oh, sorry. But to cycle back to one of Lucky's earlier points, I think this basically confirms we've got some weird Ancient Aliens uplift shit with the Olympians. This is basically the Ancient Aliens theory, you know? Mm-hmm. They came from the Sea of Stars, they found prehistoric humans, and they elevated them to Atlanteans, but at least in proper human history, Safar wasn't having any of that civilization shit. In this case, it does still exist, and they mentioned earlier that the Atlanteans who got banished, by the way, shout out to the twins who were part of the Coexist faction, and were not exiled because they literally missed the boat.
Oof.
There was rumors that they left to go find their homeland. Obviously, they didn't really, probably because the sea was full of horrible monsters. But, you know, they could have been going to go to their actual homeland, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
But so, yeah, so we get some good on this. And then also we learn more about Mecha Hades, who continues to be a cool guy. Basically, the twins drop on us that Hades destroyed himself rather than let Zeus kill him and take his authority. This means that Zeus needs to use up a lot of his processor cycles to mint the blockchain. I mean, observe the underground area. That was originally Hades' domain, was underground infrastructure. But because Zeus had to basically recreate his authority, he's still supposed to be omnipotent and omniscient, so he can look underground, but he has to use a lot of juice, and he is using a lot of his juice right now to maintain the tree, which is, you know, great and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So we get a lot of lore about, interesting hypothetical lore, I think, about the machine gun bodies. They're talking about basically them being similar to computers. They have only so much processing cycles and stuff to go around. You know, very useful stuff. It is also explained that Hades and Zeus were the same class of machine god. Even if Zeus had multiple authorities, they were still designed as equals, so they could not necessarily, like, override one another, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, and thinking about, like, this whole thing about Hades actually got me wondering. This actually might be one of the reasons for some of the stagnation. With Zeus having to take care of so many things on his own, it might be easier on his system to do the same rote task instead of having an additional task. For example, by not having anyone die, one does not have to divert additional resources to the system of, you know, death, dying, and the afterlife.
Yeah, Zeus's RAM was pretty maxed out. I don't know. I honestly... He got her authorities. I don't know how much he got out of recovering Demeter's Aletheia.
Yeah. Like I said,
they only recovered 50% of it.
Yep.
So, yeah. Very interesting stuff. And yes, this may be why, because they had to destroy Hades. They decided to go with the system of immortality, so they don't have to actually work out what happens to people. And it seems like when you die, if you actually die for real in Olympus, you're like just dead. You go to nothingness. So, yeah, there's a lot of interesting conversation here that I think is going to be relevant. Also, presumably, why, in addition to the fact that Zeus has talked about why he doesn't just obliterate all humans instantly, is because he would then I'd be blowing up parts of my own city, dog. I don't want to do that. That's not how this works. Yes, I know Demeter could just fix the buildings, but if I destroy people, those motherfuckers are dead. So, again, there seem to be, like, tiers of how this is. Zeus and Hades were both based on the Kronos model, which makes sense. I wonder if Kronos was explicitly based on, you know, an Uranus, a Urania model, maybe.
Iteration.
Who knows? Yes, they do explicitly talk about iteration. You know, Demeter was explicitly talking about getting her her base of design. Her design was based on Gaia, even though in mythology her mother would have been Rhea, but, you know, raised by Gaia, maybe. Inheriting layers of authority. But yeah, we talk about our cover story a little bit, which basically boils down to another wonderful series of quotes I have, which is, head empty, no thoughts, only One-san, Miyamoto Musashi.
You have to remember, Mimon Masashi likes being all up and close and personal.
Yes. And then we have some discussion about our cover story, which leads to Mash basically going, head empty, no thoughts, only a moto. Mash Kiri liked. Because originally, you were going to have Mash be the middle child, and then she was like, actually, I would like to be the youngest. Okay, thanks.
And we're like, all right, guess you're my little sister now. And she's like, yes.
Yeah. Because we're going to pose as the twins' distant relative, and we're going to go to their place. They got some stuff. They got something at their apartment. We have to get a vital clue thing. And they talk about how we have to be careful because Zeus can't observe all humans all the time because it's like figuring out what an individual ant is doing. He has to bust out his magnifying glass. But he can listen to every word you say above ground at all times. Oh no, what's this? The sci-fi utopia is a police state run by an all-powerful friend computer? Who could have predicted this? Yeah, no, we just keep doubling down on how this is very classic sci-fi shit. Yeah, there's an omnipotent AI god who runs everything, who is listening on, all your fucking conversations. Sherlock Holmes explicitly talks about the urban legend of Echelon, which I believe is related to basically some deep state shit that, like, everybody could listen on your calls at all times, which is not 100% true. I also like, though, that he talks about, what are the two other urban legends he mentions? It's the serial killer under your bed and...
something like a devil at the crossroad or something.
Oh, yeah, the devil at the crossroads, yeah. He's like, oh, don't worry, Miss Musashi, it's fake. But still, it's bullshit. And then we get the greatest scene, the most important moment of all time. Wait a second, this ordinary everyday doggo is just Foe in a funny hat.
Kind of great.
AKA Day 3. They still have not noticed I am not a dog. Foe. I'm not kidding, by the way. Foe gets a special translation.
Don't mind me. I'm just your ordinary everyday doggo here. Shout out to Translation Time for deciding just to use the word doggo. They know what's up.
And what Foe is actually saying here is woof. Foe. Woof. Foe's got some great grammar, by the way. He said foams earlier. He said some other stuff.
Like when they were talking about golf, he was like, Foff?
Foff? Yeah, no. Clearly, Foe's getting more complex again.
Mm-hmm. I find it hilarious they decided to give him a cover as well and named him Plato. I'm all like, very cheeky. Very cheeky indeed.
After Mash literally talked about Plato's dialogues, Timaeus and Critias.
Again, Atlantis was made something about... I think we've talked about this before, but Atlantis was something that Plato invented just to extol the virtues of having a certain type of state. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but... yeah,
so basically, Atlantis was made up as an analogy for Plato because he wanted to talk about the ancient Athenian society, which was basically egalitarian and aesthetic and arguably slight... It was basically like he wanted to combine the like Athenians' high philosophy with the Spartans' like militaristic traditions. So basically be like...
superpowers.
Yes. Be like really philosophically enlightened and cultural and shit, but also live simply and martially, like not be big on like monetary gain and whatever. Honestly, this is probably a little bit like what Plato's Republic, with Zeus as the philosopher king, but also not quite enough like Plato's Republic. But still, very interesting read.
I have a point here.
Yeah.
Next one. Just, the innocent gazes of children. 10,000-year-old children. Oof.
Yes.
Basically, you run into the neighbors, a couple of kids. They talk about, Chaldeans, they're so bad, evil. I hope they die. I'm a little bit concerned about children being so easily disabled they want someone to die.
Yeah.
But,
don't worry, Musashi has a conversation with them.
Has a conversation that bad people sometimes do bad things, but they have reasons for doing bad things, and sometimes you should try to understand them. And the kids are all like, I'm 2007, I can't understand this.
Yeah, they're like, man, that's hard, though. Musashi, by the way, has a great point for your real life. Considering other people's point of view costs you nothing. It's free.
It's true. It's free.
Like, I'm not saying all positions have equal weight, but actually trying to figure out where the other guy is coming from doesn't cost you anything.
It doesn't. But thinking about this, I started thinking about, like, wait a fucking minute here. And I started with a real talk, though. What's the situation of childbirth and reproduction here? I honestly don't know. Is it just an ever-growing population, and they maybe don't, like, feed them ambrosia to a certain age? What is this?
No, I think everybody's locked in.
If everyone's locked in, like, but people have sexual urges. Because, guess what? Earlier, like, I kind of skipped this earlier, but during Aphrodite's convo with Beryl, they mentioned Kadak or Pepe, and they went to the automated brothels. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Well, they have automata, and Aphrodite has to do something besides tell people to build statues. Yeah, it's weird. But no, that was a conversation about Kadok. Because she was like, Beryl was like, also, illustrious Lady Aphrodite, have you seen my best bro Kadok? And she's like, what animal form did she compare him to? Kadok, like a starving dog or something?
Something like that.
A lost puppy? I don't know.
Kadok's a lost puppy, yes.
Yeah, and she was just like, I don't fucking know. He probably went to town to go to one of my automated brothels, and Beryl is like, yes, this sounds like my good friend Kadok.
I'm just like, automatic brothels, like...
I mean, we know they have murder robots, so do they have fucking robots? It would make sense for Aphrodite. Remember, Aphrodite is responsible for...
Does she have sacred prostitutes? I can't remember.
Probably yes, but also remember Aphrodite is responsible for the myth of Galatea, the ivory woman. So, yeah, no, Pygmalion prayed to Aphrodite to make his statue, possibly of her, real, and she was like, okay, boom, love. But yeah, so like, it is not beyond her power to do that. So I don't know. I would assume they can't be having kids because they're like being immortal. How, if your body constantly regenerates, how would they be born? By the way, biologically, human pregnancy is like incredibly parasitic and really bad. We got a lot of weird shit going on with us because we have giant brains.
So yeah, if they're parasitic, that means, that wouldn't work. So yeah, and honestly, people probably don't have sex with each other. They probably just go to brothel for whenever they feel the carnal need for release.
And if you were already part of like a married couple, which we haven't seen, by the way, anywhere. But if you were already part of a family unit, when we talk about apartments, the twins mentioned that family units get larger ones. You probably still maintain your relationship, but I assume just, Demeter's perfect healthcare probably takes care of that problem for you. Especially because, hey, guess what? Demeter may be a mother goddess, but she is not the goddess of motherhood or childbirth. That's Aletheia, who is not around anymore because there are literally no gods left besides those 3 guys we ran into. Or 4, technically, because of Dioscuri. So, like, it's... I don't know if we have a subsystem for that.
Again, the whole system of, if we don't have to worry about it, we don't have to dedicate power to it.
Yeah. I would assume Zeus would have Euletheia's authority under his purview. Again, remember, they talk about how he took over for Apollo, how he took over for, like, Hypnos, all that shit. So, like, yeah, it's just... He has that power, he doesn't have the capacity, he doesn't have the RAM space to run all these at once. So I assume these people just don't reproduce naturally.
Yeah. It sounds weird to me. Oof.
Also, probably, anyway, like we said, this place is frozen in time and it's really freaky. Like, you think it's cool, but then you think about it for a minute and you're just like, oh no, this is just like really existentially suffering.
Which is one of the reasons why the small twins are on our side, because they're sick of this life.
Yeah, no, I mean, they even said, like, multiple times people are like, yo, you understand, if we cut down the tree, you will die. You will cease to exist. And they're like, dude, I am 10,000 years old. Everybody I know is dead or has been the exact same for 10,000 years. Do you think I give a fuck? Like, this is cosmic suicide, but, like, yeah.
But speaking of their apartment, it's sick. I very much like the sprite.
Yeah, it's nice.
I mean, the CG.
Really cool.
It's CG. We have a lovely meal.
Yeah, we do a lot of funny stuff, like, Holmes rematerializes and, like, I hope my footsteps weren't too loud. Because they gotta, like, dupe Zeus into not... He's like, they don't want Zeus to realize, wait a minute, where the fuck did that guy come from? But yeah, so we go through the thing, and they're like, yes, the thing we need to get. And then, in all caps, I have written, why do you have Caligula in your freezer? Followed up with, and he can form sentences? I'm sorry?
I'm fucking shook.
Yeah, no, like... I was pretty sure because I knew the support servants. I was like, oh yeah, it's probably about time for this to show up. I was not expecting them to literally thaw him out from the fucking freezer. Like, what the fuck? Like, they make like an ice crinkling noise and he just pops out of the fridge and I'm just like, what the fuck? And then he starts speaking.
Hello, it is me, your friend Caligula.
And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? Make the sign of the cross. That is not how Caligula works. You are not, why aren't you shouting Nero? Anyway, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, even you as the protagonist are all like, what the fuck?
Even Mash is just like, you have Caligula in your fridge and also he can speak like a normal person? The fuck? The hell? And we cliffhanger here, which is why I did actually go to the first pip of Section 10. Thou art the ardor that corrupts the stars 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote my first note in this because I wanted to get into the actual like work here, right, is I wrote, guys, Uncle Caligula is broken. By that I mean he is functional.
Functional.
Yes. He functions. He's high functioning now.
Also, goddammit, AI group, why are you still being so extra? They literally didn't have to tell you because they wanted to reveal it for dramatic effect.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god.
And the twins explained that they apparently, by the way, when you want to take long naps at Olympus because you're fucking immortal, you cryogenically freeze yourself.
I mean,
Again,
it makes sense.
Terrifying.
If you don't work and all that stuff, and everyone was immortal, yeah, you could probably just sleep for 100 years and just pick up your life where it left off. Fuck.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
No, I don't like this place. This place is bad. You think it's cool, but then you're like,
No.
But yeah, so the reason why the twins froze him is because he was supposed to be their secret weapon, but because they didn't unthaw him, I think that's why the rest of the team, which we saw on camera as Fran, Mordred, Kentucky in his rider form, and Raiko, which, by the way, shout out to fucking them summoning Raiko for this. The counterforce is, going all out.
There might have been some chain summoning.
Yeah, they got attacked and by something mentally and got, confused.
I'm willing to bet it's Aphrodite.
I mean, it would make sense. We are in her segment. I assume that's what's going on there.
Because I'm pretty...
She basically used her Gios power on us already.
Because I'm pretty sure that's what took out. I'm pretty sure that's what took out the first group was Demeter, blowing up everything.
Yeah, I think they even explicitly said that. Yeah, we died by Demeter because we wanted to stop her from blowing up city blocks, so we just walked right into it and got fuckled. But yeah, so they froze him, and that's why the squad got wiped out. So we need to set more things. I like this, by the way. The God Destroyer Alliance baited Artemis so hard she gave up on psychic attacks. Because the moon is associated with lunacy, with madness, that was apparently one of Artemis's authorities. She tried to use this on Caligula, but because he was already driven insane by the moon, it actually fixed him. And apparently, Lostbelt Artemis's conclusion was, proper human history servants are immune to mental attacks, or at least to madness.
And decided to use her fucking laser. They're not sure which one was better.
Yeah, honestly, I think the laser was better because hypothetically we were able to do stuff about that.
Yeah, Caligula is quite sane, and it's somewhat delightful. He's very eloquent.
Yeah,
I'm gonna enjoy this while
well-educated Roman emperor.
I'm gonna enjoy this while it lasts.
I also shout out he actually talks about Diana, and he's like, so you made it here? That means my goddess has fallen. And we were like, yeah, no, Orion and some others helped out, and he's like, yes. Then I suspect she wanted to... That's good. I suspect she got where she wanted to go. And then you're like, yeah, I think she did too. We have a little moment. It's cool. It's great. Anyway, we have to... Basically, we're setting the remaining 3 summoning circles so we can force a Grand Serpent summoning. The moment we try to do it, it trips an alarm. Everybody freaks out. Soldiers show up.
I just had a thought. If Astolfo would have been there, would that gotten rid of his evaporation of sanity?
I don't know, because his sanity's still missing.
I
think that would not be a multiplicative negative. I think it just wouldn't have any effect. Astolfo would not change. However, I want to posit this. If Astolfo was summoned after Artemis got shot down because there is no more moon, I think that just means he's all sanity all the time.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, no, just permanent new moon Astolfo, full power. That would also be a funny one. Just I remember what all my moves are called. But anyway, Canis says it's clobbering time. In basically as many words. Google corrected that to drop the G, by the way. It is written clobberin, not clobbering, in my notes. And then there's a fight, and then I stopped after that.
Like I said, that's where I'm at as well. So, Omega, what's our time at?
We are at 4 hours and 13 minutes.
Yeah, that'll probably condense down to maybe 4 hours.
Yeah. Maybe even a little bit more. We always have some long pauses in mailbag and stuff as we're shuffling questions around and stuff. We'll see how it shakes out. Anyway, it is 1 a.m., though. I have to log in and everything. Everybody log in. I hope you logged in yesterday, but you should log in today. And I'll leave this thing to brew and hope it doesn't take too long.
Yeah!
Like I said, we'll do Fan Servant Friday next time, because we're going to talk about Aeneas. That was who won the poll. And I feel like we will be better equipped for that conversation if we can get a little bit more Aphrodite facts TM out of the way.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, next week, if we do a stream, we will just be on Infinite Juice, and I'll try to talk more so Omega doesn't have to, so he won't kill himself.
Yeah, but yeah, if we do a live stream, then I don't have to worry about post processing. YouTube takes care of that shit. So
yeah,
the video version will be fine. which means I just have to, record audio and export it, which, again, will be okay. So, yeah, that should be a good plan, and we don't need to worry about the time constraints, because, like I said, the audio and the video version will get edited down slightly. This will not actually be literally 4 hours and 15 minutes, but it will still be long, because that's how long it took us. The other one isn't edited, but we don't have to worry about the post-processing. And we're going to have a lot to do, because I'm pretty sure we can make it through all this shit in a week. Even if the next boss fight, if the upcoming, presumably Aphrodite fight, is a pain in the ass, as much a pain in the ass as Demeter, that's still plenty of days to get through it. So, yeah. I guess we'll do the outro now, so we can go on and get out of here and not extend this project any further. Keep your ears to the ground for that Anime Japan news. Maybe we'll talk about it on WhatsApp. Hey, that's going to be live tomorrow, as a recording of this, or later this day. Hopefully. Hopefully this doesn't take forever. It shouldn't. I'll, scooch off and do some other stuff. But yeah. That means it's outro, Tim.
Yay!
The outro goes a little something like this. If you're watching this video on YouTube, be sure to give it a like if you liked it. Feed that algorithm. Let more people know about this thing we did. If you have any comments, your own opinions on, please, just the first 9 sections, thank you. I will be, editing out future spoilers in the comments. Do not do that. Leave in the comment section down below. If you want to talk freely, you can go ahead and jump on our Discord. So we have both a Let's Talk FGO text channel and a NA spoiler channel where you can post your current efforts of NA spoilers. And we even have a regular spoiler channel for JP stuff as well. And many other channels about many other things you can check in there. Are you doing one of those other gacha games that is killing you? We have a channel for that with some subthreads. So that link is in the video description on our channel as always. If you're new here for now, everybody, please subscribe to our channel to get more of this. Make sure you're subbed for next week when we will probably be doing our big boy burly Olympus deep div. Possibly a reverse dive, a climb, a deep climb. Don't question it. So make sure you're subbed up. Also make sure you hit the bell for notifications so you always know when we post a video or when we stream. I did, post it wanted in the middle of the night. Go check that out, by the way, if you want more Dioscuri facts. TM.
Yeah.
All Omega Sensei facts are trademarked. So check that out, by the way. Like, we really harp on lore here and all that, like explaining the universe and stuff, but there's a lot to go through with the history of the actual like Dioscuri and what the Gemini twins are about. Technically, that's redundant, by the way. Gemini in Latin means twins.
Twins. I mean, people say ATM machines and pin numbers, so whatever.
Yeah, it's because we forget what the acronym is for.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, that's basically like how some translations work anyway. Like, that's how a lot of Noble Phantasms are, is you say the word for it, and then your subtitle in Japanese explains what the fuck that actually means. But yeah, I'm eager for more Lostbelt, so we'll be seeing you then. Make sure you're subbed up. You can also join our channel memberships. I mentioned this earlier. For under $2 a month for $1.99. You can access membership badges and emotes. Really helps us out. You can also leave a super thanks with your comments. But you can also wait until, stream for a super chat if you like. You can, however, support us on Patreon. You can get access to this episode early in audio format for as little as $1 a month or just over $10 a year. I usually post the audio first to Patreon, and then I develop the video version because that takes more time. And if you support us at higher levels, you can even listen to the show live all the time. We do that every week for our 10 and up patrons. So it's a great time. And consider supporting us and all that fun stuff. So yeah, I think that's all the things. We'll see you guys next week for more Let's Tech FGO. Once again, make sure to check out What's Up. I don't know what Lucky will be streaming, because Ghostwire is probably not coming.
No, probably not. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll see if I can get my PS3 working.
Okay,
I don't know. We'll find out.
We'll figure it out. You'll figure it out tomorrow.
Yeah, no. Like I said, I got the HDMI isolator, so now I just got to fuck around with cables.
But all right, well, we'll leave Lucky to that, and we'll leave you to whatever your business is about, and we will go about our evening, our early morning for me, actually, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.